And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, the Epstein files. That seems to be a thorn in the side of the administration. It's a big issue, but is it a big issue? I guess we're going to see how big it is come 2026 and, of course, 2028. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Dan Bongino has returned to work, I suppose. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Gavin Newsom, Lord Gavin, Emperor Gavin, the governor of California, did an interview with Shawn Ryan. It was pretty interesting, about a 4.5. I think it was like 4 hours, 15 minutes for the interview. Long form podcast, long form conversation. And there was some interesting things said there. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, there's a potential new mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you'll never guess who he is. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Plus, we got ongoing ICE raids. We got ongoing backlash. A lot of your mainstream media types are losing their mind. They don't understand how to handle it. They don't quite get that we, the people, voted for exactly what's happening. Alligator Alcatraz, deportations, raids of a food processing plant, whatever we can get, we're going to take. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There's a whole lot happening. We got quite a few videos. We got quite a few things to talk about. Epstein is a really hot topic right now, but is it that hot of a topic? I'm not quite sure. I think maybe within certain circles it's pretty hot, but outside of those circles, it's not really a thing. Normies, y'all know normies don't know nothing. Normies don't know nothing. Hey, who's the vice president? I don't know. Who's that? Remember when Kamala Harris became the nominee at the end of Joe Biden's quote unquote campaign in 2024? Nobody knew. I'm not going to say nobody, but you understand what I'm saying. Most people did not know who this lady was. They had no idea, although she was already the vice president for 4 years. So people don't really know about Epstein. They don't really understand what the problem is. However, some have been following what has been said about Epstein, and they were really invested into getting a list. So when a list is not produced, now who's to blame? Who's covering it up? People don't believe there's no list, and they think that there are people there who are being protected. And that's just kind of what we're dealing with right here. What they want to do in the administration is just kind of let it blow over. Let it blow over. It'll be okay. Let it blow over. That's their goal. That's their plan. But we can only see if that'll work with time. Time will tell the story. Time will tell the tale. Okay. Now, Dan Bongino was upset about the whole situation. He didn't came back, apparently. So I put my video out, I believe, Monday afternoon. I put my video out Monday afternoon, and then later on that afternoon, I read that he had come back. Now, Dan Bongino, if you can hear the sound of my voice, you have to speak to the public about all this. You can't just not speak to the public because you, my friend, were one of the main ones pushing the whole Epstein thing on your podcast. You got a really big platform, and you were able to parlay that big platform into a position as deputy FBI director. So you owe the people an explanation because you took it upon yourself to champion the cause, and you were in the exact position to be able to release it if there was a thing to release. So you got to be accountable because you're the main ones talking about it. Now, Trump had already said what he got to say. He didn't already come out and said, well, look, y'all need to let it go, all this, that. He didn't already address it, but I've not heard from Dan Bongino at all. So whether you want to just apologize whether you want to just say we didn't find anything, whatever it is, you got to speak to the public. See, this is what I'm talking about with Dan Bongino being soft like that, because even if you don't like what Trump says, at least Trump will address you. Trump's going to say what he got to say, love it or hate it. He'll take all the arrows. He'll take all the criticism. Dan Bongino want to cuss out a little old lazy Susie Wiles, little old lady, 68 years old, cussing her out, cussing out Pam Bondi, but you don't want to talk to Trump like that, or JD Vance or anybody like that, but you want to talk to the young ladies like that, taking your ball, going home, not saying nothing to nobody, pouting, and then coming back, oh, shucks, I'll come back now, and then don't talk to the public. You soft. Whatever it is, you got to stand on it. Don't just do that whole big display and then say nothing. I don't like that. If you're going to be in the federal government in leadership, I don't want that to be going on. That's just my humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion. I know that might not necessarily be popular with everybody, but I think people can agree that either way it goes, whether you agree with what someone says or disagree, they got to stand on whatever they say. They got to stand on whatever they believe. They got to stand on whatever they believe the truth to be. And if they don't stand for anything, then they'll fall for anything. A person like that is going to be a weak link in your whole operation. I would have fired him if I was Trump. I would have fired him. It's like, nah, we don't got time for this, bro. Like, you kind of just getting in the way. I would have fired him and put somebody else in there that's going to do their job, whether I like it or not. Do their job and stand on whatever they stand on. Simple as that. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, I guess the list thing, we'll see. Like I said, 26, we're going to see what happens. And I think that should be the focus, to be totally honest with you, because we got some stuff coming up. A lot of these crazy leftists, they're getting crazier and crazier. They're getting radicalized by the day. Okay, they're getting more and more radicalized by the day. This whole transformer phenomenon, they're trying to normalize that. It's getting really weird. We got different kind of cultures coming in. We got Somali pirates trying to become the mayor of Minnesota. It's a whole big mess. Don't nobody get offended that I said Somali pirate. When you see this dude, you're going to say, hey, when you see this dude, you're going to go like that. I'm the mayor now. Okay, I'm the elected official now. That's what you're going to say. So don't even do that. Don't even get mad at me for making that connection. But we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling with me. Tony says, give him a chance, ABL. Well, look, I'll give him a chance as long as he does what he's supposed to do. Like, okay, I'll give you a chance at your job if you actually show up to work and do your job. That'd be the first step, right? That'd be the first step to giving you a chance is if you get hired to show up and work. I would never. I was quite frankly appalled at some of the responses talking about, oh, can't the man take a day off? The storming off and cussing people out, that's just crazy. I have never done that. I never thought about doing anything like that in all of my years of living. That's just really beyond me. Even when I made $6.25 an hour, I was thankful to make that money. I always been at a point to show up, rain, sleet, hail, snow. It didn't matter what's going on. Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, I'm going to be there because I'm thankful to have this job. Okay. And once I'm done with that, I'll move on to the next thing and I take that same work ethic to that particular task. Okay. So whatever I do, I'm going to be good at. That's just how it's supposed to be. Especially if you're in the federal government. If you're just a regular normie flipping burgers, it's one thing, but you're going to be Dan Bongino. You could just leave work, and I don't even understand that concept. So for somebody in the federal government to do that is crazy. And this is why, here's something else though. Let's talk about this. This is why a lot of those federal government employees got the boot because they weren't doing anything. They just pretty much milking the clock, collecting checks, chilling, doing other things. I read to y'all that passage from someone who said that there was a woman who was 30 years old with 5 children and a grandbaby. All she did all day was just operate her household remotely. She didn't do any work. Why can't we fire her? Well, I got kids and the grandbaby. Who's going to take care of the kids and the grandbaby? I didn't think that it was a welfare position to be working for the federal government. I didn't think it was that. Same thing with Dan Bongino. I didn't think it was going to be something that was kind of dumbed down and made it a little bit more easy for you to do. Kash Patel, and you know what? Here's something else. Since I'm talking about Dan Bongino, I think this is why Kash Patel is the big boss and Dan Bongino is the deputy, because Kash Patel is going to go to work every day. He's going to go to work, come in early, leave late. He's going to go hard. He's going to work very hard. And you know what? Here's something else. You know what? I think I might owe Vivek an apology. Remember that whole Americans mediocre speech? It was offensive coming from him, but at a certain point, I'm not going to say this applies to all Americans, so don't nobody get offended. But at a certain point, what he said was correct about a lot of us not stepping up, not really being great, not holding ourselves to a high standard. We see it every day. People that's 800 pounds on a Walmart scooter is screaming, 800 pounds on the Walmart scooter. We see it every day. People just accept mediocre ways of living. I ain't talking about being rich and famous. I'm talking about at least just know how to eat a plate of food properly, so you're not 800 pounds at 25 years old. Basic stuff like that we have a problem with in this country. I don't know what to blame it on. I don't know what happened, but something most certainly did happen. And I think Dan Bongino got whatever Vivek was talking about in that speech. In my humble opinion. That's just what it is. Okay. Hey, and you know what? That's why somebody said Uncle ABL will tell you. This is why I have the Uncle ABL channel. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I put up Superman review. That movie, I thought it was a good movie. I know that might be a hot take right there. You liked the movie? I did. I really did. But this is why I adopted that moniker, because I kind of been like this for a long time, always trying to be the voice of reason, always being the adult in the room, even when I was a little boy. And I feel like I got to be that a lot more now as I get older and people are becoming a little bit more mediocre. That's just my humble opinion. So, hey, that was on my chest. Hey, that was on my chest. I wanted to get it off. I hope Dan Bongino can turn it around. But what we don't need, bro, is for JD Vance to have to be on the phone with you and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles trying to make things work, trying to, come on, Dan, come on back to work. We don't got no time for that, bro. Nah, this ain't elementary school. This ain't you going to your first recital or something like this and getting stage fright, bro. You're in the actual government. You're in the federales, bro. You're in there. And you've been there before, though, because you were Secret Service. But I'm getting triggered, so I digress. I am getting triggered, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Taylor32 says, Bongino got spoiled on TV. He's back in the real world. Exactly. The podcast, speaking engagement, stuff like that, it's easy. It's like you don't even really work, because I know what it is. I know what it's like, especially if you're good at what you do. It's effortless. But once you get into them into them rooms, once you get into the federal government and you got real issues on your desk, now it's a little bit different. It's easy to opine and pontificate on a thing, but to actually do something, to actually be held accountable, to hold yourself accountable in a serious way that has real world implications is different. It's much different. Yeah, Bongino, man, I didn't like that. I did not like what he did. That to me was really soft. He was cowardly to do it. I understand you got a grievance and you're frustrated, but we all have grievances and we all get frustrated at our job. We all get frustrated with things that we do. I mean, I'd have been there, especially being self-employed back in the day before YouTube, before anything like that. I done had grievances where you want to do something to somebody, but you can't. You want to say something to somebody, but you can't. You got to be professional because you are a professional person. You can't just take this whole cussing people out. All right, I'm done. I'm done with him for now. I am done with him for now. I'm gonna read some of the comments and then I'm gonna get to begin here. Rebel Without a Reason says JP Morgan didn't settle a $2.9 billion lawsuit with the Epstein victims for a hoax. They all ran on the promise of exposing everyone involved. Hey, I mean, If they don't have the list, they don't have the list. Now, we can say that there is one, but if there was a list at that point when they did the settlement, then why wasn't anyone brought up on charges back then? Because remember, Epstein got locked up in 2019. That was 5 years ago, and he's dead. Ghislaine Maxwell got locked up too. Oh, little bit of breaking news, since I'm right here. Little bit of breaking news. So the prosecutor from SDNY, the Southern District of New York, which is a federal joint, she has been fired. And as you can see from looking at her face, this is James Comey's daughter, Maureen Comey. Okay, so speaking about Maureen Comey, Epstein, and whatnot, she prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell and almost fumbled the ball right there. She almost fumbled that one. That should have been a slam dunk case. You got Jeffrey Epstein with the stuff on his phone, and Ghislaine Maxwell was on the beat of madam procuring the stuff on the phone and live human victims on the island. It should have been a slam dunk case, but she almost fumbled that one. She prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein and Puff Daddy. That was the most recent one. Puff, Diddy. Y'all call him Diddy. I call him Puff because I'm old enough to, I remember when Puff came out, 1994. So I knew, and I said it in my video, they're going to look into SDNY and there's going to be some heads that roll and she'll probably get fired. And here we are. All right. So in case you were wondering, in case you couldn't tell, but looking at her face, that's James Comey's daughter, who is a prosecutor over at the SDNY federal joint that prosecuted Puff Daddy, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay. All right. So do y'all think that this is interesting timing? Do you think that she's being fired for a different reason other than Puff, other than being ineffective, other than being a Nepo baby, because that's what she is? If not for her being James Comey's daughter, she would not be where she is at SDNY. So what do y'all think? Y'all let me know. Okay. JJ says, did AVL, I guess that's me, right? Did AVL get the call from the White House? Nah, I ain't never been on Fox News. Y'all know me, I'm an independent voice. I don't play like that. I'm an independent voice. You know, if I say something, then nobody put a battery back and say, hey, go out there and say it. I'm going to always say the truth from my point of view, whether you agree or disagree. I'm not one of these guys that just put out any kind of garbage content that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. Simple as that. Whether people watch it or not, it don't even matter. So what do y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments. Again, that is James Comey's daughter, Maureen Comey, who has been fired from SDNY as of today, from what I'm reading. This is breaking news happening within the past hour or two. All righty. Some of y'all said Shakespeare Theater, no coincidences. Okay. These Bolts says it's called integrity. Thank you, These Bolts. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't even sleep at night. I don't know how some guys do it. Like, I couldn't sleep at night knowing that I'm just telling lies to make money. I'd rather would be a bum on the street begging for change. For real. I have more freedom doing that than to be a slave to lies and then what am I doing to people? I'm feeding them lies, misinformation. I'm not educating anybody. I'm not really I'm not a value in society. I'm a burden upon it. I'm not a value in society. I'd be a burden upon it if I was just one of these clickbait farmers. But anyway, we got quite a bit to get through, quite a few videos, but y'all know first things first. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to you guys, of course. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the description box as always, or go to patriotpost.us. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to ablmerch.com. Hold on, we got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and I have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want, I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Thank you, Sheree, posting the links right there in the chat. I appreciate it. And of course, all my links will be in the description. Please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. And if you are, it'll be from my email address, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, contact@anthonyblogan.com. The email's always on the contact page of the website in case you forget. And like I always say, if you get in a 10,000 digit WhatsApp number or some kind of crazy random Gmail talking about their me and send them anything, don't do it. Don't get scammed. It's 2025. Let's not be getting scammed like we getting trolled still. Remember them trolls from the last stream? Let's not go back to those days where we had trolls and stuff, people getting scammed for the very first time. Don't nobody got time for that. We're trying to elevate and move forward. All right. Thank you, Brian. You like the witty people ahead? I appreciate it, man. Do I have it right here? Yeah, there we go. You like that one right there? Thank you, man. I appreciate you. ABLmerch.com. Get one for you, your Meemaw, everybody. Okay. Now, speaking about Trump, did you guys see this? This is the World Cup celebration for Chelsea. Now, shout out to the soccer guys. I don't know nothing about soccer. All I know is you kick the ball in the net and that's it. If you ask me to name the positions, to name I don't know nothing. Do y'all run plays? Is it like a system? All I know is run, kick, ball. I'm an ignorant American, please pardon me. But this was a great moment with Trump. He did not want to get off that stage during the World Cup celebration. Check it out. Hey, for real, you know what? First of all, that was an epic moment. Shout out to Trump for just, Trump is like such a random guy at times. Imagine that. You up there, you're like 21 years old. Here comes the president. This is like Papaw up on the stage with you, just doing this Trump dance, all of that during the FIFA World Cup trophy celebration. But look, at a certain point, it's like, bro, all this trying to motion him to get off the stage is not happening. He's going to be fully in the moment, enjoying it. You might as well just enjoy it with him, okay? Because what are you even doing? Like, bro, what are we doing? Just enjoy that moment with him. You know that he's not going to go nowhere. So, yeah, shout out to Trump for really just enjoying himself in that particular moment. That's right on your business. You cannot tell a boss what to do. Hey, I'm not Joe Biden. I know where I'm at. Okay, I know where I'm at. You don't got to, give me the dementia treatment. I know what's going on. I'm just trying to enjoy myself, bro. So, hey, you might as well sit here with me since you're right here rather than trying to get me off. Okay, let's not even do that. Now, Andrew Cuomo. Let's talk about Andrew Cuomo for a minute. Before we get to Epstein, I do have that. But Cuomo, he is still running for mayor, although he lost the primary to Mom Dami. He wants to be an independent. Let's watch some of this. I mean, and for you guys in New York, who do y'all want to be the mayor? You have three choices, realistically. I know Curtis Silva, he's in the race, but is he a realistic choice? I'm not sure. It's New York City. So, fortunately or unfortunately, the choices are Mamdani, the communist, Bernie Sanders. Now, he's a communist, Pete Buttigieg in the Latin universe, right? Anyway, so you have Mamdani, Eric Adams, the current mayor, and Andrew Cuomo. Out of those three, who do you want to become the mayor of New York City? And you only have those three choices. It ain't neither one ABL or Mamdani or I write you in. Out of those three, because we got to be realistic, who do you want to win and who do you think will win? Let's watch.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says he will stay in the New York City mayor's race despite his upset loss in the primary. Cuomo, who enjoyed support from big money donors, says he'll be on the November ballot as an independent. The primary winner, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, is rocking the political establishment. Republicans claiming he's a communist lunatic, with headlines reading, "The Wall Street elite now have deep anxiety about higher taxes." But some Democrats say the party needs new blood.
I think there is no secret that the country is looking for a new generation of leaders across the board, whether in a mayoral race, governorships, Senate, House, like across the board.
Both.
All right, so what do y'all think? Who's it going to be? Mamdani, man, hey, it's good to have new blood. He's 33 years old, by the way. 33 years old, young guy. It's good to have new people, but let's have good people. Just because they're new doesn't mean they're good. Let's get some new and good people. Now, to those who are right around his age or, Nepo babies, rich kids, Manhattan, to them, they're going to like Mamdani because what he says speaks to them. But they don't really have an understanding of the way that the real world works beyond their very rich bubble. They don't really get it. They don't understand what life is like on the other side of the tracks. They don't really get it. But they're going to find out real quick what it's like if they vote for that guy. They're going to find out very, very quickly. Okay, so I'm reading some of this stuff right here. I said you cannot pick Curtis Silva, led submarine, only between the three I mentioned. Only between the three I mentioned because I like Curtis Silva, but he has no chance. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. He has no chance. So I think a lot of y'all say Adams. Adams seems to be what I'm looking at mostly in the comments. All right, that seems to be kind of what it is. All right. Yep, that's pretty much it. So we'll see. We shall see. Now, speaking about elected officials, we have Hank Johnson, Mr. Guam himself. Y'all know this story. I ain't gonna play the video of that one, but I will play the video of this. He has a brand new song about the Epstein files. Now, ever since there was a big stir from conservatives, I'm not sure if it's a big percentage, small percentage, whatever, but there's noticeable stir from conservatives about the Epstein files. The Democrats have hopped all over it. Ever since they saw that there was a noticeable stir among Republicans over the Epstein files, Democrats have hopped all over it. And this right here is Hank Johnson's brand new track about the Epstein files. You ready? Let's get to it.
Congressman Hank Johnson coming to give you some more ear candy or perhaps an ear ache. But I'm going to do my best off of this Jason Isbell tune, Dreamsicle. Epstein died by suicide. Believe that and you must be blind. You've been telling us you released the file, but where are they? We've gone along with what's been told. We've had plenty of time, you're in control. But now you say you will withhold the Epstein file. Dreamsicle on a summer night in a folding armchair. Trump's howling at the moon. Release the Epstein file soon. Congressman Hank.
All right, there we go. So that's Hank Johnson, an elected official in the U.S. Congress in D.C. from Georgia with his new track about the Epstein files. All right, what do y'all think? What are we rating that on 1 to 10? Y'all let me know. They said, stop it now, make it stop. Yeah, hey, but that's what's happening. They're really just trying to capitalize off of what's going on here. Now, we saw what he put on True Social. Now, what do y'all think about this post? If you guys saw my video, I read it there. What do y'all think? He's saying, hey, this is a thing that the Democrats have really been trying to push, trying to derail us, trying to get in the way. It's a hoax. It's been years now. I put it in the same category as Russia, and the Steele dossier. What do y'all think about what Trump said? Again, this is from my video today. It came out this morning, Wednesday, July 16, 2025 at about 9:43 a.m., probably Eastern time. Do you agree? Do you disagree? if you disagree with what Trump said, is this enough to be your final straw? Is it enough to disavow the president? Y'all let me know. Give me some feedback on that. I think the majority of people, it won't be enough, but some people will find this to be completely unforgivable. My question would be, how many of us will that be? That'd be my question. Also, there's a lot more furor about this than the Iran strike. I thought it was kind of weird, personally. I'm like, really? This gives you more pause for concern than the Iran strike? I mean, I get it, but I kind of don't get it at the same time. Okay. Epstein fatigue, still supporting Trump. Hey, there you go. That might probably be the best way to put it. Now, part of the problem is these podcasts, because they come out and they just talk without a real, they speak sometimes irresponsibly, because they say things kind of flippant, kind of just casual, without the expectation that we take it serious. They'll just say something. Yeah, we're going to find the Epstein files. We're going to, okay, but they never do. Meanwhile, people were like, okay, we were waiting on you to find it and you didn't. So what's up? This kind of lets you know that a lot of these guys and whatnot, you cannot take seriously.
What would be your advice? Given this back and forth, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. This was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, that everything we're talking about, because it's frustrated him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie and saw our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really frightening and very upsetting to a lot of people to see. And I would actually say over the past 10 years, we've all kind of endured this. Prior to that, it was probably happening, Benny, but we just weren't as aware of it. It wasn't until Donald Trump came down that golden escalator that he just kind of blew the doors off of everything. And people started to wake up and realize, wait a minute, things are not as they have always been presented to us. And I do believe that you will see that. Now, as it relates to the president, I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got this big announcement with Russia going on, I think, as we're speaking right now at the White House. We have, a Middle East. We're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that Iran's nuclear It
ain't nothing, because when you watch a video like this, you're going to think, okay, especially you got like clickbait. He's talking about, well, we're going to see more evidence. Oh, we intend to release more evidence. But it ain't never going to happen. And if there's more evidence to come out, listen, if there's more evidence that comes out, it's not going to be anything that really matters, in my opinion.
Arsenal is obviously completely decimated. We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, you've seen no border crossings in the last month. 0, by the way. I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. 0 illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it. So
if it doesn't really involve this, and this. So basically the same thing they did from the beginning. The same thing they did from the beginning was give out those binders to the influencers, which are heavily redacted. Why? Because of the very things that she mentioned. So it's not going to be anything new. All you're going to get is redacted. You're going to get sheets of black paper. It's going to be white paper, but it's going to be so many redactions. It's going to be black paper with a little bit of white on it. So I don't know, man. To me, the story is kind of dead, but people are just not satisfied with the outcome. Am I pretty much picking up on that? Hold on. Mean Saltine says, I'll drop Benny Johnson. He sensationalizes everything. Most guys are going to do that. I ain't gonna say most. A lot of guys are gonna do that because that's what sells. But there's a negative part of that as well, because you're not being honest with people. You're misleading them, and ultimately people are gonna start to distrust you because whenever they come to your page, it's gonna be more of the same. And then some stores you're gonna just really report over the top, and they're gonna notice it, and they'll kind of back off. Then they may see you again a few months later doing the same exact thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm glad I stopped listening to him, because all he does is just sensationalize to get some of the monies. Okay, now let's go back a little bit. This is going to be, what's this? Theo Von's podcast with JD Vance. This was, I think, during the campaign, if I'm not mistaken. This was before recently. This is some months ago. Okay, now listen to what they say right here. And check it out.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
Now, okay, see, they would say stuff like that, and then that just kind of encourages people to think that it's going to be something coming. So then when it doesn't, it's like, why you do all that? Where you were just playing, just talking, just on the podcast, just shooting it. One thing I want to say to anybody listening to the sound of my voice: if you're gonna have a platform where you speak to people, you need to be telling the truth. You need to be honest. Don't just say things to be saying it. And if you're gonna do that, call yourself a comedy podcast, entertainment, storytelling. Up front, just say that you're fictional. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's just having a good time. It's not really a serious type of thing. You say stuff like that, and then the list don't come out, and they say it was never a list. You appear to be a liar, and that's the issue. Michael says, "Yep, just playing." Exactly, just playing, just playing. Yeah, it's just talking, just talking. Okay, now Mike Pence then came out and spoke about the Epstein list. Mike Pence, I don't know where they got him from. Okay, I don't know where they got my man. They got a man from the cartoon that he be playing in on the part-time. You know what I'm talking about. His doppelganger. I've not seen him in the summer at the same time. But anyway, this is him talking about the Epstein list. I think this is recently here. Let's check this out.
The Epstein matter is a hoax. Last week, his Justice Department said there were more than 1,000 victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Last summer, Trump said he was open to declassifying all the relevant files and the Epstein client list, and that his suicide looks suspicious. How can all those things be true and it be a hoax? I don't understand where things stand with all this.
I think the time has come for the administration to release all of the files regarding Jeffrey Epstein's investigation and prosecution. It's important that we protect the names of the victims. They should be excluded from any disclosure. But whether or not the facts justify charges, I think that anyone who participated or was associated with this despicable man ought to be held up to public scrutiny.
One of the most aggressive investigative.
All right, so he's not saying that much he's not saying that much more than Laura Trump. They both said to keep the victims' names redacted, secret, not available to the public. They're both kind of saying the same thing. So I think if he was, let's just say that Mike Pence was in charge of declassifying the files with what he said compared to Laura Trump with what she said, I think they'd both be heavily redacted, just the same as they were in them binders. It'd be the same thing. Matter of fact, hold on, can I find that picture right quick? Let me see, Epstein binders. Yeah, let me find that right quick. Right when they did this, I'm like, man, look, they're not gonna do nothing. When I saw DC Drano and Scott Pressler with binders, I'm like, man, never mind. They getting them some merchandise. Look, they getting them some merch, some MAGA hats. It's like, man, nah. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. I knew right then when they came out like that it was nothing they were gonna show. MAGA hats and some swag, a keychain is. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. But I already knew what it was from the beginning. Already knew. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, here is Trump talking about the fouls. I think this was today.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah. No.
All right, there we go. Okay, some people might kind of be getting tired of it, but people are interested. Now, here's Trump talking about it in the White House with what I showed in the video today was the Prime Minister and Crown Prince of Bahrain, or rich Middle Eastern country over there by Qatar, UAE, etc.
I want to move past all this intrigue over the Epstein files, but I do want to ask you to clarify something you said this morning. You said this was all a hoax. Has your Attorney General told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen of that?
No, it's not the Attorney General. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats. It's been run by the Democrats for 4 years. You had Christopher Wray and these characters and Comey before him. And it's a bad group. It started, actually, look at the Steele dossier. That turned out to be a total hoax. The 51 agents, the intelligence, so-called intelligence agents, it was a hoax. It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats. And some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net. And so they try and do the Democrats' work. The Democrats are good for nothing other than these hoaxes. They're bad for policy. They're bad for picking candidates that can get elected. Like in New York, we have a communist running. He may get elected too, actually, but he'll destroy the city. It's I call it the Epstein hoax. It takes a lot of time and effort. Instead of talking about the great achievements, we've had a great gentleman yesterday, as you know, went on CNBC and he made the statement that Trump may go down as the greatest president of all in the United States. And instead of talking about the things we've achieved, we've had tremendous achievement. They're wasting their time with a guy who obviously had some very serious problems, who died 3-4 years ago. I'd rather talk about the success we have with the economy, the best we've ever had, and all of the things we've done, including the Middle East. I mean, you see it. Instead, they want to talk about the Epstein hoax. And the sad part is it's people that are really doing the Democrats' work. They're stupid people. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? What do you guys think about that? I mean, I got 2 questions. What do you think about that? And also, what do you think will happen next? Will there be any kind of disclosure? Like, what's going on? Tony says, I agree with Trump for the most part on this. Butthead says, why Trump? Why did you have to go down this road calling it a hoax? Ugh. 1032 says all facts. Michael Esperanza says gold tie matching the decor. I did see that. I did see, the Mamaw chair with the tie. That was funny. I did check that out. It's like that tie is matching all of the gold gilding and everything in there. Yeah. I most certainly did see that. So shout out to the tie. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yes, gilding. Check it out. Google that, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, now here's Tucker talking about the whole situation. Tucker Carlson talking about what's happening. And y'all can hear this and give me your opinion on it. Let me put it up for you right quick. Let me turn that volume down. RIP in advance to the headphone users.
What is it about Jeffrey Epstein that's so infuriating to people, so infuriating that it's actually causing seismic political problems? And I hope that they'll address it and it'll get better. I really do. But what is it? I'll tell you what it is. It's the frustration of normal people watching a certain class of people get away with everything every single time. That's what it is. What is
Tucker, can I ask a question? When you say a certain class, who are we talking about? Let's just like name the names. Put some names in that. Like, give me the actual. Don't be like, well, a certain kind of. Nah, give me the. Be direct with it, Tucker. Come on now. I know you know better than to just leave things open ended like that. Who we talking about? The rich and famous, the Jays, who y'all always blame for everything. Like, who are we talking about? I want to know. And the funniest part, I'm not saying Tucker talking about the Jays. I'm not saying he's saying that. But that is an element here to some people. The funniest thing to me as a black person is seeing the individual ethnic groups of whites fight each other. That is the funniest thing in the world. That is hilarious to me. I saw Dan Bilzerian talking about the Jays. It's like, bro, you from Armenia. Like, you basically are Russian. Please stop. Anyway, but if you like what you're hearing so far and know what to do, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helped me out tremendously. And this is the perfect segue. Oh, perfect segue. Look, this has to be one of the funniest videos I've seen in my life. Okay, check it out. You got Anna Navarro telling this gentleman that him being white, a white male, is problematic. There's an elephant in the room I have to address, but first, let's watch the video, shall we?
Also, I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
That is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino. No, I'm not being racist.
It's incredible to dismiss my opinion for being a white man.
No, I'm not dismissing your opinion. I am telling you that what the Latino community, the brown community in America.
Speak in one voice.
Okay, well, let me speak with my voice. I mean, you said I was being hyperbolic. Let me respond.
Racially, sure.
I'm not. You being a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it to dismiss my
being
opinion,
a white man as an insult?
When you invoke it,
do you think Latinos are living under circumstances that other people may not be right now in this country?
We're about to.
Let's pause. Can I please pause before they continue with the rest of this? Am I the only one who thinks they look identical? Am I the only one who thinks they look identical to each other? They look like mother and son. Is it just me? Look at these people. They look the exact same. If he's white, then you white. Look at your hair. The hair, they both brunettes. The eyebrows is kind of getting that similar arch. They got the same skin tone, the same nose, the same lips. Cheekbones look kind of similar. Is that your son on TV with you? Is this take your son to work day? Y'all look the exact same. Tell me I'm not white. I can't tell. If he's white, then you're white. But hey, I digress.
Have a whole conversation about that very thing. But I just want to make a point that, Brad, all she's saying is that her view of the situation is different from yours. I don't think that's an insult.
She basically said I'm wrong because I'm a white man.
She just said I see it differently.
I see it differently.
She said,
Abby, that was a crazy reach. She said it's because he's a white male. Talking about some, I see it differently. She could have just said that. Abby, you're funny. But don't do that. That was just really crazy.
I see it differently from you, which is not an insult. It's not, and it's also not a racial insult.
It's also not an explanation why I'm wrong.
What if a white man came on there and said, you know what? As a black woman, your opinion don't really make a difference. You black, so what? Like, that'd be considered racist. What she said is racist. But again, can we go back to this? Look at these people. Somebody said aunt and nephew, 100%. Look, the hair, the face, the skin tone is the exact same. The eyes, the eyebrow. Look at the eyebrow. Look at this. I know it ain't just me. I know it's not just me. I know that I got some people in here that are on my side with this. So that goes back to what I'm saying about whites dividing themselves. And then that's whenever I see that, that's funny. And it comes from a lot of these racist leftist people like Anna Navarro. ABL, she's a Republican. Stop. Racist leftist people like Anna Navarro do stuff like that. They divide themselves into groups and fight each other. That's what it is. So yeah. Hey, the antique action figure says, I want to see the 23andMe. Hey, it's going to be identical. it's going to be like Spider-Man meme. That's what it's going to be. Their 23andMe, Ancestry, all of that is going to be just like this. Okay? And at the end of the day, it's going to be a Spaniard that's their great-great-grandfather who owned slaves, which would be the funniest thing in the world. If you like what you're hearing so far and know what to do, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Aaron says, is she really Republican? Well, on paper, yes, she is, on paper. The last I checked, I don't believe she's changed her party affiliation, but I've never really heard her say much Republican. I've never really heard her say anything that's Republican on television. Not that I can recall. I think she's always been a leftist like this. Maybe at one point she was different, but not in the past, 10 years, 15 years since I've been seeing her on TV? Okay. Hold on. Bean says, all white people do not look alike. You're right. You're 100% right. Because there's a big difference between Kathy Griffin and Vladimir Putin. I understand. Conor McGregor and who's somebody else? Dolph Lundgren. If he dies, he dies. I get it. Okay. But these two, come on. Like, well, let's not even really play like they don't look like mother and son. Hey. Now, here's an interesting video. Okay. So a Black American woman moved to Kenya and worked for USAID. And she's talking about how the people in the village were not very receptive to her because she's not white.
They loved having white Americans in their village. Now I done replaced them. And they are looking at me like, who, you? You that look like us? You're here to help us, to save us? What happened to the white people? And you bald, you ain't got no hair, and you childless, so you really not a woman. In their culture and at that time, you're not a full woman if you don't have children. They loved having.
Hey, that tells you right there that just because somebody the same skin as you, it don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. All this, so what? Because from their point of view, the way they see it, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. And I'm sorry for the freeze frame, young lady. But I'm going to tell you what happened. They've had other people come to the village to try and help. And the most help they've gotten has been from the whites. The Chinese come in, they try to take advantage of them. Black Americans normally don't even go to a place like that and try to help. Other Africans, you got corruption going on and lack of education. So the white person, that's like going to be the most help they're going to get what they have, which is the Western ideology and society. So they want them to be in there to make something happen. It doesn't matter if you guys are funded by the same people and sent by the same people. They look at you as somebody that won't be effective because their own people are not effective in Kenya. And if they were, then they wouldn't need you or the whites. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to her. I mean, you can learn when you travel like that just because you black don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, you are an American, and that's pretty much it. And if people have become accustomed to a certain group doing the best for them, out of all the other groups, out of the Arabs, I might want to come through and try to push Islam on them because there is that element right there, because Somalia is right there, and they got conquered by the Islam people. Tanzania, all of that is right there. East Africa, Horn of Africa, that's like right in that particular neck of the woods. They don't want the Arabs. They don't want the Chinese. They don't want any random tourists from America. They want the white, probably white Europeans too, not even white Americans, but that's a different story. Now, speaking about Horn of Africa, we have this man right here. Okay, what's my man's name? Let me make sure I get his name right. Omar Fateh or Fatah, I don't know. Okay, now, when you see a black person, just because they're black don't mean they're really black. I don't consider Somalis and Ethiopians as black. I consider them to be more, almost closer to Indian. If you see a Somali and a South Indian side by side, they're the same. I feel like they're more akin to that. They're not us. They're not West Africans. Comparing the Somali to a West African, like my ancestry, is like comparing somebody in Siberia to a person in France. It's the same landmass, but it ain't the same people.
Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do. I'm ready to work hard to 1. Build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2. Protect our city from a hostile White House. And 3. Diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community. Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these ensure that the appropriate response arrives when we call 911. And we can actually free up police resources to focus on violent crime that detracts from community safety. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my campaign managers again. They've been on my case all week about make more videos. I'll find the time tomorrow.
All right, there we go. Omar Fateh, he's running for mayor of Minneapolis. Now, do y'all think, my man, do y'all think I'm the mayor now? Will he become the mayor or not? Now, just so we are on the same page, just for a little bit of context, the current mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, is Jacob Fry, who is a complete beta male, like absolute 100% beta. Jacob Fry is the kind of guy who would campaign for him while running for mayor. That, like, it doesn't make any sense what I just said, but it does, because that's how soft he is. So with a guy like that in office, a guy like this is easy to kind of just slide on in there. So what do y'all think? Is he going to win? And it's weird. He kind of sounds just like Mom Donnie. Is there a school where they go to where they could just churn these communist, socialist, young guys of different ethnic backgrounds out? Are they meant to look so ethnic because that's kind of like popular right now? Okay, we got the Latin universe, and then we got the Somali pirate universe. What's next? What are we going to do next? Like, you're going to get Mao Zedong's nephew to come out and run for mayor of New York City? Like, what's happening? I don't know. But yeah, shout out to him. We'll see what happens in the coming days, weeks, months, if he becomes the mayor of Minneapolis. And here's a little bit more from him. Oh, and a side note, he was born in Northern Virginia, which is like Africa Part 2. And now he lives in Minneapolis because there's a big Somali community out there.
Should make dua for him and pray for him. I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other here in Minnesota and back home, and I ask for your support. There's always been a link between our community here as well as back home, and I'm running to bridge that gap and unite all of us and represent all of us, because when we succeed here, we succeed everywhere. And I'm hoping to do that just like Abdrazak, inshallah. We should.
All right, there we go. So again, all this, inshallah, all that, but he's from Virginia, Northern Virginia. And this is why I don't count Northern Virginia as Virginia. It's not the same place at all. Like my neck of the woods, Southern Virginia, Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that ain't, them up there, they got their own thing going on. And it's been like that since the beginning. It's been like that since the beginning. That should be his own state up there. We don't claim it. It's just like how a lot of you guys in California, if you live in the northern part of the state, that's basically Oregon. It's not the same as San Fran, Los Angeles, those next to the woods. It ain't the same as at all. Same with Northern Virginia. Make that be its own little independent territory up there. Okay. So yeah, when he says who is us, okay, somebody says who is us, that him and the other Somalis in the area, because they go to Minnesota because they got it's a lot of them up there. That's pretty much where they at. Just like the Cape Verdeans in Boston, Okay. And other Africans like Nigerians, they go to Houston, I believe. And just a generic African place is like Northern Virginia, where he's from. Okay. Now, speaking about foreign places,
when you start,
Jasmine Crockett is against defunding PBS because we want to stop radicalization in Iraq. Let's watch.
When you start to talk about whether or not Sesame Street or anything else that's on NPR or PBS ends up in other places, this is so that there is not this warped thought process about the Western world or about the United States. We're talking about making sure that we don't end up allowing people to be radicalized against us because they have a terrible vision of us, because they may be in a government that actually puts out bad, terrible propaganda about us. When you start...
Let's pause. So there's a few things I want to say. First of all, you could tell she's being coached to say these things because she has a big platform, gets a lot of attention. She gets coached and says to say, okay, talk about soft diplomacy, talk about how we do things to protect us as Americans, to encourage the funding of NPR and PBS. Tell them that way, and maybe they're going to be on the same page with us, with what we want. The problem is, your PBS and NPR, if that's going to be our voice to the world, what are we saying to the world? That we're LGBT, we're queer, we don't believe in following laws? Like, what are we talking about? I saw Billy Porter with a dress on in front of Sesame Street sign. Is that what we're going to send to the world? Is that what we're going to send to the world? And if it is, that becomes easy to counter, because in Islam and a lot of these other places, even if not Islam, they don't play that LGBT stuff. So when we put out that negative imagery, from my humble opinion, and their opinion is positive imagery, but when we put out negative imagery of us as LGBT and weird and 1,000 pounds, the other parts of the world can take that and see, look at these disgusting Americans. You don't want to be like that. Allah's the way. So it's kind of counterproductive in my humble opinion. Maybe y'all think different, but that's kind of what I've always thought about NPR, PBS, the so-called soft diplomacy. What are we putting out there to the general public? Not very good things, in my humble opinion. Rex Rocker says NPR and PBS became political. It should not have any of that nonsense. I don't care what side. Exactly. No politics, left or right. Especially we're talking about kids programming on PBS. We're talking about Sesame Street. It shouldn't be that you have Billy Porter wearing a dress. Why am I seeing that on Sesame Street? It should be about teaching children basic skills like reading, writing, arithmetic, counting to 10, counting to 100, C-spot run, your colors and your shapes, stuff like that that you need as a foundation for a child. When the kids don't have that, but they have LGBT, but they have electronic devices with garbage right in their brain, TikTok, that's when you're going to get people that grow up and don't want to do anything but sit on their hind parts and continue to just consume that same content that they have since they've been a child. What do y'all think about that? Y'all let me know. All right, now we got John Leguizamo. A lot of y'all might not know who that is, because if you're young, you probably were born after his peak. What was John Leguizamo in that you guys might know? Because his peak was the 90s. So if you're like 24 years old watching me, you have no idea who that is unless you watched the movie that came out before you were born. So what was he in? He was in hold on. Let me just look at his filmography. Tu Wong Fu, yeah, Carlito's Way. What else? Romeo and Juliet, The Fan. He was in Spawn, 1997. He was in quite a few things early. He was in some kids movies. I think he was in Ice Age in 2009. He was in a lot of stuff. He was on Miami Vice in the 80s. Luigi, Spawn, Super Mario, Dirty Dancing. Wow, Dirty Dancing, that's way back. Which was when? Was he in Dirty Dancing? I don't see that on his list, but maybe I'm wrong. He also did theater. He's done quite a bit. But a lot of y'all probably don't know him. But I'm going to put him on the screen, and you may recognize him. Okay. Here he is talking about there's plenty of room for migrants in the USA. All righty. Let me go ahead and just throw it on the screen. Was he in John Wick? Okay. Shout out to him. He is still living gleaming circuits. He is still kicking. Let's watch some of this. This is going to be on Bill Maher's podcast.
Part of this is a backlash to how badly Biden handled the immigration situation. It can't just be like come one, come all, which
Dude,
it was.
There's plenty of room here, and we need
room.
There's plenty of room in America. Come on, there's not a lack of room in America.
But it's never about room. It's about resources and about like having countries have to have a border. It just can't be. I mean, they've done surveys and something like 200 million people around the world, when asked, would you come to America if you could? Yes, I would. Why wouldn't they? Lots of countries, are shitholes.
Right.
And they would love to be here. You can't
I'm not right. No, right. The places aren't shitholes, but.
Well, they are. That's why they want to come.
I mean, look, the whole S-hole country thing, some countries are better than others. It is what it is. And if they were not, if these countries are so good and they were not S-holes, then why do they want to come here? Your liberals are double-minded. They'll say that there's no such thing as an S-hole country. Then they'll say, well, the refugees got to come here. The migrants got to come here because they're fleeing oppression, they're fleeing violence, they're fleeing poverty, they're fleeing hunger. If there's so much negative things going on to where you got to flee that country and come here, then what do you call the country you fled from? Okay, I give you a hint. It starts with an S and ends with a hit hole, but I digress.
Because of America, what America's done, especially in Latin America, has beat up every democracy that was burgeoning in Latin America. They destroyed it to keep their oil or their resources or bauxite or bananas.
Like, if you don't really have rights, like as far as like women's rights in most majority Muslim countries, women just don't have close to the rights we have here. If you can't dress the way you want. If you are in a country where there's just extreme poverty, which a lot of countries have, or if there's like the kind of corruption, and we have corruption here, of course, but on a level.
Well, we have extra new corruption with the meme coin.
But it is on a level in some countries that's way, way more.
Well, we're catching up. We're catching up.
We're catching up, but we still.
No, it's still.
But there's a reason why people want to come here, because it's still better.
But I got to tell you, I mean,
if you live in a country where you can take a chicken on a bus, that was always my standard. Okay, I think I have the right to call that a shithole country, and I see why you want to come here. It's not your fault you live in a shithole. It doesn't mean you're a shithole person. But you had the misfortune of being born there, and I get it why you would want to move here.
Right, but the thing is that the immigrants that are coming here are building the country. They're the.
Let's pause. Now, the country was built before all the migrants flooded into the country. The country was built before then. So how did we do that? How did we do that? I ain't talking about slavery. I'm talking about post-slavery. Before 2020, when all the migrants fled their places and came to our country, somehow we built the nation before that. We need to have Americans do things for Americans rather than relying upon the so-called migrant labor that I call, and many of you call, slave labor. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Shout out to you, Peg. I see your comment.
Essential workers.
They are.
They're the first responders. They're doing all your construction, painting, plumbing, raising all your food, cooking all your food, serving all your food.
Kids, taking care of your kids.
Taking care of your kids. We do all the work that nobody wants to do.
We? What you mean we?
And keeps the country going. I mean, immigrants are the life source of this country.
Yes, they are. Absolutely. Because, again, we're both products of them.
Yes, yes, we are both.
We need, but what most Americans, I think sensible, middle of the road people would say is, yes, of course, we are an immigrant welcoming country, but there has to be some order to it. It just can't be come one, come all. No, I mean, there was like video people would see of people just the border guards just looking as people are just like.
It can't just be a free for all. You got to just have some order to it. It can't be a free for all. It's called the legal immigration system. It exists. It's a real thing that exists. We got all kind of visa programs, H-1B, HT3PO. We got all kind of stuff, but yet they want to come in illegally. Because what they did with the migrants, again, John Leguizamo, what they did was flood us with them to drive costs down. That was a way to try and artificially reduce inflation. But what they did was create a bunch of other problems, because now the American taxpayer is on the hook for the lower inflation. If the migrants came in and they did a bunch of jobs that you say Americans don't want to do, but what they really did was do it for a lower price, and which drove all the other prices down, that was a way to battle inflation. But the taxpayer got to pay, what was it, $451 billion per year on the migrants. Every year, we, the taxpayer, paid that. If inflation reduced because of the migrants, then explain the $500 billion price tag that we got to pay. Not to mention the crime, not to mention the lack of housing, not to mention all the other ancillary effects. It was a stupid policy that put us in the worst situation. That's the key. You talking about picking fruits and making beds, you thinking small, because most normies don't know anything. They don't know nothing. And Americans, the politicians understand that about Americans. They get it. They will 100% get it. Oh, that's something else, Mean Saltine. And the blue states, that's something else, Miss Adams. The blue states get more Democratic voters. The blue states get more congressional seats. The blue states get more power in the federal government due to all the illegal aliens. Must we do another 2/3 compromise with these illegal aliens? Don't nobody shoot me. I'm just asking the question. And it's funny how a lot of these leftist places are doing the exact same thing the so-called big bad Confederate South did prior to 1865. They're doing the exact same thing that they did, and it's the exact same kind of problems. But let's check this out. One more piece from Leguizamo talking about, what did he say here? I forgot. Let's just watch it. It's a shorter video too.
The ultra woke stuff that wins the awards.
There's no ultra woke, bro. I'm ultra woke. They're not woke enough for me. I'm sorry. They're not woke enough.
Well, that's quite a statement, and we probably should not pursue that at all.
America is a centrist country. We don't have a real left. We have a real radical right, but we don't have a real radical left. We have center and then a little center left. Real radical left wants to destroy government just like the right, wants to upend everything, wants to throw out the establishment. We don't have any of that. Come on. What do we have? The left, the Democrats eat their own. And they don't listen to their progressives. They destroy them.
All right, what do y'all think? Do you think there's not really a left? There's no radical left in the country. So when I'm seeing these Antifa people out here, okay, look, when I'm seeing Antifa out here destroying people, when I'm seeing people lose their lives as a result of the radical left, when I'm seeing them so-called protest, which is really a riot all the time, when I'm seeing foreign actors come over here, like the dude from Colombia, rabble-rousing people to shut down college campuses, is that not the radical left? I don't understand what that's all about. And the right does not do that. All they're going to do is say January 6th. Okay, welcome to 2021. It's now 2025. The left does things all the time in this country. We don't. And even in J6, that was a Fed job, and everybody knows that. But I digress. All right, so Captain White Lady here has a suggestion about what to call non-white people, okay? So y'all listen up, pay attention. This might be some good information. Check it out.
Non-white people and ethnic minorities. If you are tired of using this language that continues to center white folks, there is better language. Right now, I'm learning from author Britt Hawthorne, and on her blog, she introduces us to the language people of the global majority. Oh, is accurate, right? And she names the way in which this term disrupts white supremacy, culture, and ideology. I know it takes a lot of energy to educate all of us, but Britt, we are grateful. People of the global majority. This is good language, and I hope you'll use it.
Okay, this is so funny because she doesn't really realize she just said the exact same thing. It's no different, and I'm going to break it down. First of all, this is just like when they said people of color rather than colored people. You're saying the same thing. It's just fancy. You just turn it around and put an of in the middle. People of color is the same thing as colored people. It's flipped around with an of in the middle and made grammatically correct for that situation. Now, they say people are the global majority. Okay, you're lumping all non-whites into one thing, which is the same thing you did with colored people and people of color. Because as a black person, blacks are about 13%, 14% of the world population. 13% to 14% of the world population, including the United States, South America, the Caribbean, Africa. If we're in Europe, wherever we are, it's about 1.4 billion of us. Whites about the same thing, about 1.3, 1.4 billion. If you account for US, Europe, Russia, Australia, New Zealand, South America, like Argentina, Brazil, etc., whites are about 1.3, 1.4 billion globally, same as blacks. So neither one of us, whites or blacks, are the global majority. But if you put all non-whites into one category, then that is a global majority. You're still censoring whites. If that was your objective to not do that, you failed. You failed. So, hey, how about this? Don't even worry about all these fancy terms. Just say, if you got to mention race, just say the race. Okay? And if you want to say everybody else but white, just say non-white, because you're saying the same thing when you say global majority. Like, that's just what that is. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up. Okay. Now we got an LGBTQ LMNOP XYZ couple going into a Barnes & Noble and looking at some of the crazy books they got for the youngins. They gay, right? They're gay, so they're already on the left. But even they are like, all right, we're doing a little bit too much. Check it out.
We're gay, but we're in Barnes & Nobles, and there's a kids book section, a gay kids book section, and this shit is crazy. Look at this. Okay, there's the gay VCs, right? Bye-bye binary. Bye-bye binary with a mohawk on a baby. Gay VCs, you're not ready. Can you hold this? Okay. What? A is for arrow and ace. B is for bi. This is crazy. We're gay, but this is crazy. What? For a baby?
So they kind of just skip past a couple of these. Okay. So C is for coming out. D is for drag.
What? For a baby? Okay. E is for equality. We'll take that. F is for family. Okay, we're getting better. Okay, why did it start so crazy? Just for hope. It got better.
Not really, because G was for gay and I is for intersex. So it really didn't get better. And look, these are children's books in Barnes & Noble. Listen, okay, hold on. Let me just say this. If you want to be gay as an adult, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Do whatever you want to do. But why must you push this on the children? All we ask is you leave the kids alone. Leave the kids out of it. Why is that so hard to do? Are they recruiting because they cannot reproduce? What's going on? Hey, y'all adults, y'all do what you want to do. Knock yourself out. Consenting adults, do whatever you want. That's not my place to try and hate on you or try to block what you got. But leave the kids alone. That's all I'm saying. Miss Adams, exactly. Leave the kids alone. Leave some more, leave the kids out of it. Exactly. That's all we're saying. Now, this woman, let me see what her name is. Sam Ponder. You guys may or may not know her. Samantha Ponder. Is that her? That's interesting. Anyway, Samantha Ponder. She was on ESPN and she got fired after the whole transgender boxer thing. Remember that? Amani Khalif over in the Olympics beat up a biological woman, and the woman was like, okay. It was so bad, the woman stopped and started crying. I was like, man, this is crazy. I'm looking at a man beat a woman. It was nuts, pun intended. But let's watch some of this here.
When the boxer Olympic situation happened and the woman that he was boxing came out and said enough, I just wrote enough is what we should all be saying.
And on Twitter?
On Twitter. And I knew when I sent that, like, this isn't going to go over well. But, like, to me, that's abuse. You have a male in a boxing ring with a female literally beating her.
Yeah.
And we're just supposed to, like, yay, in the name of inclusion. Like, no, what about her? What about her? And so I sent it, and then the next week I got a text that said, can you jump on a call with this person and this person in like an hour? And one of the bosses is someone I never hear from, and I was like, this is it. But I do want to say, to be sure, I do not believe, nor have I ever believed, that I was solely fired for this. I think the model of my career at that point of only working Sundays in the fall on Countdown was not what ESPN wanted, and they felt like they were paying me too much money to do just one thing. And I had turned down opportunities in the past to work more and do more because of the season of life I'm in. Like, I got 3 little kids, and I'm not giving up that time with them for any opportunity. So I had been really clear on my boundaries with work. So I really don't think me losing my job was solely because of that, but the timing of it almost certainly was. And I was told after the fact, privately, that most people at the top of the company did agree with me on this issue, but that there is
the trans issue.
Yes, but that there is a loud activist group at Disney, and they were not happy with me.
All right, there we go. So again, this is on Sage Steele's podcast, Sage Steele Show. So shout out to Sage Steele. Now, there's a lot I want to say. Okay, there's 2 things. If you caught it, there's 2 things. The first thing is, this is what a lot of your LGBTQ, X, Y, and Z extremists do. When you say something they don't like, it doesn't matter if it's true or false, they're going to attack you, get you fired, all this, that, and the third, because you didn't say anything wrong. Who wants to see a man beat up a woman? I don't want to see that. If it's going to be a boxing match, it should be between 2 women or 2 men, period. If the man is more skilled than the man, so be it. If the woman is more skilled than the woman, then so be it. But a man against a woman, no. I don't care what he calls himself. I don't care what they try to finagle it to be. I don't want to see that. Second thing, did you catch what she said? Well, look, all I was doing was working in the fall for NFL Countdown, but I wasn't doing much more. I could have worked more and done more, but I got 3 kids. I'm in the mom era. That right there points to the whole gender pay gap. People say, oh, well, women still make X amount of cents on a dollar of a man. It's unfair. Men make more. Well, men sacrifice everything for themselves, for their family, for their children. It ain't no, oh, I'm going to take time. I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to take FMLA. Nah, men have always worked their fingers to the bone. Always. Long hours, going hard, crashing out. Men have always done that. Therefore, we're going to make more money because of the effort, the work, the time we put in. And I understand women because you got kids. You're a mom. Your priorities are different. I totally get it. I'm not even trying to hate. I'm just saying that's the reason why the pay gap exists. And now the pay gap is tightening because a lot of women are not having families and they're not getting married. If they were having more families and they got married more, then the gap would not be so tight because they will prioritize the family. Does it make any sense? So yeah, shout out to her. Again, that was Sam Ponder. All right, shout out to her. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. We got some criminals doing some things. Are you hearing? This guy was funny. This guy was hilarious. Now, this guy claims to be a DACA recipient as he's being arrested by ICE. And if you saw that headline, DACA recipient arrested by ICE, oh, how can they do that? He's doing the right thing. He's following the law. Well, not quite. Let's watch.
Are you here illegally?
I am not here illegally. I am under DACA.
What has prevented you from getting your legal status in that 20
I'm
years?
currently working within my legal status. My legal status, I have updated my application and I'm waiting for my legal status to change.
Have you committed any crimes?
I have some cases pending. You also told me to go back to Honduras.
Whoa. Before the whole, go back to Honduras thing that you want to accuse the white guy of, before we go there, I got some cases pending. Huh? Some cases? What are we doing here, sir? Okay, you're a DACA recipient, all this, that, and the third, but what are you doing committing crimes? See, that's what I'm talking about. You're not, your paperwork ain't right. You're not a citizen and you committing crime, bro. I don't know where you came from. You can go right back there if you're going to be over here being a criminal. Okay. Hey, you want to be a criminal? Go ahead, man. We don't got no time for nobody over here illegally committing crime. Okay. Let's just go back to hear that if you didn't quite catch it.
Waiting for my legal status to change.
Have you committed any crimes?
I have some cases pending. You also told me to go back to Honduras, did you not?
I said if the judge decides.
No. Right before you left the car.
You're going to go back.
Be a man. Right before
Be a man?
Yeah, right before you left that car, you said go back to Honduras, didn't you? Yeah. And I tell the truth. I don't sit here and lie under a badge, phony badge.
Uncooperative the whole time.
Uncooperative? I'm not fighting. You guys are chaining me like I'm a dog and I've done nothing. What? Say it.
I've done nothing. What you mean? You got cases pending, sir. And look, I'm no English major. I don't have extreme mastery over the English language, but case is plural, right? Right? Am I right about that? That means more than one case. So how many cases are there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20? And what did you do? Oh, I didn't do nothing, but you got cases pending. So you did something, allegedly. If you didn't do anything, you sure are accused of doing some things, plural, more than one, multiple.
You've been resistant the whole time.
So when your parents came over, you weren't sure if they came illegally or illegally?
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I was 5 at the time.
Do you know now, though?
I know now. My mom, who's my blood, she is under legal process, yes, of becoming a U.S. citizen. No, explain to me right now while the camera's on.
Because your immigration staff.
And how did you guys know about that?
Because we're immigration.
All right, there we go. So my man talking about some, oh, well, it's racism. You said go back to El Salvador, all this, that, and the third. Man, look, Americans are tired. Americans, all this fatigue. I got this fatigue, that fatigue, all this. Okay, I got a fatigue for you right now. Illegal alien criminal fatigue. How about that? Illegal alien criminal fatigue. Criminal fatigue, period. But definitely illegal alien criminal fatigue. And that's you. That's you. Shout out TGA. That's you, Mr. Illegal Alien Criminal, for sure. All right. Man, it's totally nuts. It is totally a crazy world in which we live. All right. Now, this is going to be in Seattle, Washington. And the reason why I call it Seattle is because they get a lot of free services out there. Although a lot of the free things they're supposed to get, they really don't get. So this man is homeless, and the guy recording him is giving he's doing like a little impromptu interview. According to what this man says, who's recording, each homeless person in Seattle has almost $100,000 US spent on them every single year. 97,000 to be exact. 97,000 per homeless person in Seattle. Where's the money going? Anybody want to guess where the money's going? Let's watch.
Social services spent $97,000 per homeless person to get you guys off the streets. 97,000. Yeah.
That can't be true because there's more and more people becoming homeless on the streets.
Yes, homelessness increased over the last year.
Yeah, I know. I see new faces almost every other day.
So then where the hell's the money going?
Honestly, I heard something last year. They said last year, maybe 1 to 2 mil came up missing, and I don't think $1 to $2 million comes up missing. Somebody took that shit, and they say we're the problem, but yet they want to take away our resources to help fix the problem. But that doesn't make any damn sense.
And that's an obscenely high number per homeless person, which means $97,000 was applied to helping you off the streets.
No, they don't give a shit about us.
So how much money do you think was spent on you in the last year?
Zero.
All right, so now I'm sure he might get some services and some things beyond zero, but I know it ain't $100,000. The money that they spend on homelessness just goes in people's pockets that work in the industry, the homeless industrial complex. The homeless industrial complex. And the little bit of things they do give the homeless just makes it worse, because when you give them resources, when you let them camp, give them resources, all you're going to do is just attract more of them. Okay, it's like if you have a rodent infestation, don't nobody get offended, but just walk with me. If you have a rodent infestation, you don't eliminate it by feeding them. That's not how it works. If you're going to just throw cheese bits on the ground, all you're going to do is get more rodents. You got to do things that's going to clear them out. You have to remove them, do the bombs or whatever, get them out of there. You can't fix the problem by enabling it. If someone's on drugs, at a certain point, you got to take the drugs away. If you give them drugs, they're going to be continuously hooked on it. If you allow them to get the paraphernalia, you allow open air drug markets, you're not going to solve the problem. All you're going to do is enable it. That's how you have Skid Row and stuff like this persist forever. And it be covered with fentanyl because you're allowing it to happen. Same in California, probably, Runner's Eye. Runner's Eye says, probably the same in California. Billions are missing for the homeless. It ain't missing. Somebody got, like you said, somebody took it. It ain't missing. It's right in somebody's front pocket. It's right in their front pocket. It's right in their house. Okay, you see a brand new estate go up, Pacific Palisades, something like this. Okay, you see Ferrari in the front. That's what that is. That's where the money goes. All right, now look. When I was in California recently, the beach was beautiful. Manhattan Beach, I loved it. I wanted to go back. Shout out to you guys out there. Hey, to my man that said, you want to invite me? I'm staying at your house, but I'm just playing. It was beautiful on the beach, but I did see some really ghetto things. I didn't see this monstrosity before you, but I did see some crazy things, including something that looked quite like that. What I saw did not look exactly like that, but it was right in the same category. What you have is a treehouse, I guess you would call that, with junk surrounding it. So this is what a treehouse would look like if you drew it when you're 5 years old and you constructed it at age 35 while fully on methamphetamine. Watch.
Right in the middle of LA, South Central. He has a lottery go straight up. Just keeping their head up by the light pole. And I tell you what, this is interesting.
All right, there we go. So we got a treehouse, I suppose you would say. Like I say, you drew that when you're 2 years old, scrabbling, and then you're 35 years old, smoking meth, and you say, you know what? I'm going to make my childhood dream come to life, and voila, there we go. There we have it. They would never allow this in my neck of the woods, ever. That right there would be a bonfire. Hey, get the dude out of there, and then just let it loose. Make sure he's safe. Now, I ain't trying to say throw him in there with the fire, but once he is out of the treehouse, he's no longer in there. All his pet rats and stuff then got evacuated. We lighting it up. It'd be a whole bonfire. Yeah, that can't really be what's going on. Now, look, this right here, speaking about homeless and stuff like this, homeless, dope fiends, they're dangerous people because they're mentally ill due to the drugs they're on. That's the You got heavy drug addiction, drug use, combined with mental illness. And in my opinion, the drugs cause the mental illness. You schizophrenic, you hearing voices, all kind of stuff, and you're high on drugs at the same time, you got a problem. This situation is why I said I defend a Daniel Penny, because I'm sure some of y'all done seen some dope fiend on a train or somewhere around you acting a whole fool. A whole fool. And you know, at a certain point, I might need to put my hands on this man if he tries to come over my direction. Here is an example of that. Now, it's not a fight situation, but it could have been. Check it out. Okay, do we have sound? No sound here. Let me start from the top. I thought it was sound. Okay, and you see the caption, New Yorkers protect woman from subway pirate. So you can see off the rip trying to act crazy, lunging towards somebody, and then somebody gets in the way to protect the young lady sitting down. And you can see he's stumbling, bumbling, probably saying crazy things to himself in a clear mental breakdown. And they're telling him to get off. Matter of fact, there was sound. Why is there no sound? There was sound here. I don't know what's going on, but they told him to get off. And you can see, look, you can see right there, slobbing and everything else, drooling at the mouth. A guy like this needs to get escorted off of the subway. And if he wants to get violent, you got to do something to him, because if you don't do something to him, he going to do something to you. So, yeah, it's a mess. It's a real big, crazy mess. All right. Now, what else we got going on? There's something wrong with the sound because I can't hear. Hold on. Y'all give me a second. If you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. But my sound is messed up right now because I got other videos that are not playing sound. Nah, that was not the Michael Jackson impersonator. That was not him. Nah, that was somebody else. See, it's always a guy like that on the subway. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why I said Daniel Penny was a hero, because there's always a guy like that on the subway acting the fool. Let me restart my mixer right quick because the sound is not working. Give me a second. See if that worked. Let's do a refresh. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Y'all give me a second. I gotta fix this. I have to fix. Oh, all right, man. Look, that was crazy. I had it on mute, but I didn't realize I had pushed the mute button. Okay, there we go. We're back. So this is a robot training to avoid homeless people on the ground.
Sorry, I just wanted to capture that. We are making sure that it's testing in progress.
Yeah, it's just funny because my mind went straight to, they better learn how to dodge all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's more important to be safe around this.
And dodge lawsuits. That part.
Okay, now if you don't see what's happening here, this is purely training. These are not real people. These are dolls on the ground. Okay, so they laid these two dolls on the ground so the bot can be trained on how to avoid human beings on the ground when it's going from point A to point B. So if you get your Uber Eats or whatever, your Starbucks, your Target, and you get it delivered to your house by this little robot, has to understand, okay, if I got this obstacle, meaning a human being in the way, I got to figure out the best way to get around it. That's what's happening right here. They're training to avoid bodies on the street. Maybe they OD'd on fentanyl. Maybe they did. Who knows? Who cares? I got to get this Starbucks to Katie immediately. So I got to train to get out of their way, to kind of, weave in between them. That's all. All right. And then where are we going to go here? Oh, here's Gavin talking about he doesn't want to do the jobs that illegals do. And you know what? I think that I agree with him. The problem is guys like him make policy for all of us, and we don't all agree with him.
Community, all these mixed status families, $8.5 billion of tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last Pew estimate. So it's not insignificant. Backbone, I mean, it's half of our agriculture work. You care about farmers and ranchers? If that's what your number one go-to commitment, then you sure as hell should care about their workers. 41% of our construction workers, Texas and California have the highest percentage of their construction workers that would fall into that category. How the hell do we rebuild Altadena and Palisades? We're going to need a peak next year. We estimate about 70,000 workers. Without that workforce, ain't going to happen. You're struggling here. You imagine a peak there. So I think there needs to be a pathway for those folks as we secure the border, and we own that issue.
Do you feel that they're taking American jobs?
Not in Tulare County. Not in Ventura County. I don't know many people that want a job out there in those packing facilities. I don't see many people look like me jumping at those jobs. I just don't. Maybe there's some exceptions. I haven't seen the evidence of that.
Okay, now I think what he's saying is correct.
Those jobs
about guys that look like him not want to do those jobs. But see, guys that look like you are not going to be the majority. Guys that look like you are going to be the extreme minority. You guys want to have your rich and famous playgrounds, and the labor jobs you want to have access to, as far as your packing facility, your Starbucks, your food service. You want that to be a thing that you bring in from other parts of the world to work for a very low amount of money. That's the bottom line. That's what it is. But see, you apply that same thought process to regular everyday Americans, and we're not all the same. The things you guys do in Southern California is not what we do all over the USA. And quite frankly, we hate what y'all do in Southern California when it comes to that kind of behavior. We hate it. We don't like it. Which is why a lot of these progressives, quote unquote, when they leave California, they're like locusts, a plague, like an illness released upon the general public. We hate it. Not all Californians, don't nobody get offended, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're in California, you're a regular person, a normie, a conservative, you know who I'm talking about. You know guys like that exist. I don't think guys like this are watching me right now. And if you are, welcome, that's fine. What he's saying is correct for people like him. It's not correct for the majority of us. The craziest part was they talking about, oh, illegal aliens do restaurant work and Americans don't want to do it. What? Man, please. When I was in the restaurant working, it was no illegals in there. It was nobody that didn't speak no English in there. The closest thing we had was Filipinos. Okay, but they were not like speaking no English. Everybody still spoke English, and they were not here illegally. Okay, all the women were married to Americans. They were not here illegally. So, and it was only one male Filipino dude. I think he was born here. Everybody else, white, black, the regular America, not illegal aliens who don't speak no English. Simple. But they want to put that type of California, I'm rich and famous, I want a Starbucks right next to my house, therefore I'm going to fly in a bunch of illegals. They want that same kind of mentality to be for the entire United States, and we don't want that. Now we got a clash. Now we got a clash. CB says a lot less sidewalk taco stands here in SoCal. Well, hey, I saw the traffic. Shout out to the traffic video. And the guy who had the traffic video had emailed me and sent me the original, and it was 100% real, 100% authentic. He sent me the metadata and everything. 100% real, authentic. Recently, that video was shot where it was like next to no traffic on the road out there in LA, where it's normally very busy. I saw the same exact thing out here close to Atlanta. Right when Trump came in, right around that same time, like January, 285, a ghost town. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. All the illegal aliens laying low, or they went back home. Funny how that works. Now, here he is talking about RFK Jr. I did not play this one in my video this week, but let's watch.
So I respect Bobby, but he really turned on me early, and he flat out lied about some things.
What did he lie about?
He lied about, said, though, because Newsom got some, I got sick for 2 or 3 days, and he said it was because of a vaccine, and then he lied about what I had. He weaponized it. He misled. I was like, and I was reaching out going, brother, the hell's going on? And I saw him go down this sort of darker, good people can disagree. And I'm, by the way, Make America Healthy. That's California. I've been leading that cause for decades. There's no governor again. Forgive me. That movement started in California. I did the Skittles ban a couple years ago. My buddy Marshawn Lynch was all pissed at me because we're going after red dye earlier than, and all the folks at Fox were mocking me. Now they're all jumping over, patting themselves on the back for leading this ever. But so I've always admired that about Bobby. But on the vaccines, I think some skepticism, absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of mis and disinformation that is really hurt public health. It's my humble opinion. And so
okay, now there's a lot going on. First of all, he's doing a modified Trump dance. Did you guys notice that? That's a Trump dance. So you're biting off of Trump. You're copying Trump, number one. But number two, you say that Bobby Kennedy's copying you as far as to make America healthy again, because y'all were on the front lines of banning red dye and stuff like this, the Skittles ban. Okay, Gavin, you wouldn't have banned Skittles, but how about banning fentanyl? How about that? How about banning black tar heroin? How about banning meth, crack, all of that from the streets? How about that? Y'all in California will provide paraphernalia, drug paraphernalia. Hold on. I got to show my old video right quick of California offering free drug paraphernalia to go get high. Meth pipe, crack pipe, all of that. Everything was in there. So you're enabling the drug addiction. That's fine. But you draw a line at Skittles. No Skittles. We're not going to have that. Plastic bags, Skittles. Nah, we don't want that. But if you smoke meth, that's totally fine. Okay, let me see if I got the video right quick. I think YouTube didn't like that video too much. Yeah, YouTube did not like that particular video. It might not even be on here anymore. All right, I might not have it, but y'all remember that video where they had I got it. So look, this was during the Biden administration, okay? If you guys remember, check it out.
So every Tuesday and Friday in Hollywood, they have a Catholic church that gives this stuff out. This is where we living at, y'all, and this is what the government's doing. Joe Biden said he spent $60 million on paraphernalia for drugs, and this is what it looks like. It says being alive. This is a meth pipe. Yep. Right here with this bubble thing. I guess you put the meth in there. This is a crack pipe. Yep. Okay. These are all instructions on how to overdose treatment and education. This is the needle in here. I'm not going to open this. I'm scared.
That's for heroin?
Yes, for heroin. It has the alcohol pads.
That's a real needle?
It's a needle in there.
Oh my God.
And these things are like a black and mild filter that you put on the crack pipe so you don't think no one's saliva, so you don't get sick, and you can do your drugs. So this is
so they like it. So they like, if you're gonna do drugs, we're gonna give it to you so that you can do it the proper way without getting sick.
Because we're not stopping it. We're not.
No, they're not stopping it. No, they're not stopping it. They're gonna stop Skittles and red dye, but crack, meth, heroin, it's fine. It's totally fine. And that was taxpayer funded. Your taxpayer money. It came from the federales during the Biden administration out there in Hollywood, California. Yes, yes. Okay, no lie. No lie. So when you say, Gavin, you were on the front lines to make America healthy again, I can't tell if you're giving out free crack pipes, how does that make America healthy again? Y'all let me know. Does it have Narcan? I was asking the same question, Angela B. I'm surprised if it doesn't. You might as well throw that in there. You might as well have a little candy. You saw the little peppermints in there. Peppermints, alcohol pads, crack pipe, meth pipe, heroin needle. Throw a little bit of Narcan in there as well. So when you OD, you don't die. You know, that's pretty much how that is. USAID. Yep, there you go. USAID. Hey, USAID is spreading democracy all over the globe. and we're helping people. All right, but you also giving out free crack pipes. Okay, you also got Billy Porter in the wedding dress at Sesame Street, indoctrinating little kids to be LGBT. That's why we cut your U.S. aid money. That's why we did that. Okay, so now here is Gavin in the interview, the last piece I'm gonna show. It's a little bit of cussing going on here, so cover your ears. I know some of y'all got virgin ears. Cover your ears for this piece. All righty, let's go ahead and go back.
All that reputational damage that's being done as they're sitting there on horses with American flags running through soccer fields, scaring kids that are playing soccer in the middle of the day at a summer camp. For what? Just toughness. It's a weakness masquerading as strength. That's what I don't like about this son of a bitch. I don't. And forgive me, I know he's the president of the United States. Forgive me, I didn't, yeah, he calls me new scum. Come on. How do I explain that to my kid? Now I have my kids' friends calling my kids new scum. That I get, because I was called that in 7th grade, but not by a 79-year-old. Model better goddamn behavior, man.
You mad? Are you mad about the new scum nickname? Is that digging up an old wound for you? Are you mad for real? I think new scum is funny. I think it's funny. SOB, you just getting upset. That's not very creative. Orange man, hey, do something a little bit more, on point. A play on words, something like this. You can't, you could say orange man bad, but that's kind of played out. Give me something more creative. Be a little bit more, play along, man. Have a good time with the game, man. That's all I would say. Mad about new scum. That's funny. That's hilarious. But yeah, shout out to Gavin. That might be your 2028 front runner for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. And if not him, then who? If not new scum, and matter of fact, now I'm gonna say it since you don't already tell me it triggers you. If it ain't new scum, then who would it be? I don't know. Okay. Dan Bongino. I already covered him. I ain't gonna say too much more. I have some stuff prepared, but I ain't gonna say too much more. I already get my piece on Dan Bongino. But what I wanted to show was that he is allegedly back at work. This was from Monday, but it was like later in the day. Because when I put my video out, it was like Monday morning, afternoon. And this was updated at like 6:20 p.m. So I think what happened was he came into work later. And we've still not heard from him, though. My thing is, okay, all right, Bongino, you did all that. You need to explain to the public why you did it. And I want to hear from you as far as your opinion about the Epstein situation, since that was why you did all this, carrying on. I don't want it just to be no closure like that. I want to get the final piece, like what's really going on. Okay, I'm reading some of these comments. I'm not going to show nobody's name. One person says Epstein can be shelved for now. In my opinion, there are greater issues to address. We are 7 months in and not one high profile indictment. C19, J6, etc. Let me see. Maxwell publicly stated she is ready to allocate for a deal for multiple foreign sources. Trump is right. AG Pam Bondi doing a fantastic job. I see mostly comments like that. All right. Now, I'm going to show Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the former DNC chair, talking about Alligator Alcatraz. I played it before, but I want to give context because there's a response kind of from DeSantis. So let's watch this first, and then I'm going to get to the DeSantis response. And I'm sorry for her face being cut off, but it really don't matter.
They essentially drink, they get their drinking water, and they brush their teeth, where they poop in the same unit.
As I said in the previous live stream, in the previous video, this woman was a former DNC chair. She is the former DNC chair and does not understand what the typical jail unit is. You got the toilet on the bottom of it, as you can see in the background, and at the top is the sink. Talking about something, they poop in the same unit. You idiot. They bragged that
They went above standards, supposedly, and gave them a 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length inside the 32 detainee cage. A 3-foot privacy wall that stretches the length of the 3 toilets. So,
okay, so you remember that. That's just for a little bit of context, okay? She did the idiocracy meme on live television, okay? And she was very serious. But this is a lot of your normies. This is how they think. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They don't understand what the typical penitentiary jail cell bathroom looks like. They have no idea. All they know is their nice, comfy abodes in which they live, in which they grew up. They have no idea about anything else beyond that. They're idiots. They're mouth breathers at best. Now, here is DeSantis talking about Alligator Alcatraz. Let's go ahead and check this out.
These are people. Did you see the background on some of those people, on some of those detainees? You see the horrific crimes some of them have done?
But they're still saying there's a lack of water, there's a lack
No. Oh, no. They're complaining about, they're saying some of the porta-johns aren't properly certified. I mean, give me a break. First of all, what's the plumbing going to be like in their home country? What are the bugs going to be like in their home country? Give me a break on some of this stuff. So all they're doing is, but I think it's showing, are you believing? A lot of these are actually criminal aliens who've been convicted of crimes. You're going to believe that, or are you going to believe the folks that are there professionally doing all this stuff? But the reality is they're in the country illegally.
Exactly. So shout out to DeSantis talking about Alligator Alcatraz. That's a good point. It's talking about, oh, it's bugs. Oh, the toilet. It's like, all right, where are you from though? What's the plumbing like where you from? Okay. Like, you probably recently went out in the woods and hit number 2 right on the ground in the woods in your home country. Now you in America, you got a regular toilet that all Americans have in the penitentiary, and now you want to complain, now you want to be bougie. Anybody trying to hear that, man? Look, check it out. You're only here for a few days in this facility. You about to get sent right back to where you came from. So enjoy your toilet or lack thereof wherever you from. All right, enjoy your outhouse, enjoy your little hole in the ground. Whatever you got is fine. You don't even got to use our stuff no more. Don't worry about it. You won't be here for that long, so it's okay. It is okay. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about idiots and mouth breathers like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I ain't going to say you're an idiot if you don't know this exam, but this just shows how intelligent a lot of the East Asians are compared to the rest of the world. So this guy's in Japan. He's going to show the English exam that they take. Okay, so you're in a different country. They speak their language, and yours is secondary. Here's what they have on the English exam. And the question is, could you pass it? Let's watch.
I'm in Japan right now, and I finally got my hands on the English exam that everybody here studies for. And it turns out it's so much worse than I thought. This is the grade 1 vocabulary test, and let's just look at these questions. Although Caleb was excited to receive his promotion, he felt the either twinge, sprig, mandate, or bastion of sadness. The only word I know here is mandate.
Okay, I got to just get it together. I'm almost speechless. This gentleman, I suppose, the hair is a little funny. So, hey, bro, forgive me. I'm hearing your voice, but I'm seeing the pretty hair. I don't know what's going on. You're looking like Clueless, the girl from Clueless. You're looking like her. What's her name, Alicia? You're looking like her a little bit. I don't know. Sorry, Bob. If you're a male, I'm sorry. But here's the sentence again. Although Caleb was excited to receive his promotion, he felt a blank of sadness. He was being transferred to another city, so he had to say goodbye to all his coworkers. The options are twinge, sprig, mandate, and bastion. He says he only knows what the word mandate means out of the 3. The answer is twinge. Twinge means like kind of a tingling feeling a little bit, kind of a pinch, a twinge. That's the correct answer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's sprig. That ain't really it. That's like a switch, like a piece of a tree. But mandate, Bastion, sir, Bastion, in a sentence, it would be the last bastion of hope, the last bastion of freedom. How would I define that? Like a thing that represents something. That's probably the best way. How would I look it up? Bastion, part of a fortification built at an angle. Nah, that ain't it. Institution, place, or person strongly defending or upholding particular principles. Yeah, that's what that is.
Sadness. The only word I know here is mandate. The coach made sure to blank the strengths of each player. She wanted to build their confidence before the next game. So the options are extol, forestall, eschew, and abhor.
Pause. Let's read it again. The coach made sure to blank the strengths of each player. She wanted to build their confidence before the next game. The multiple choice answers are extol, forestall, eschew, and abhor. All right. Now, the correct answer is extol. Forestall, I don't know what that means, to be totally honest with you. Abhor, like abhorrent. That's what that will be.
I've never heard any of these words in my life.
Oh my God.
The new theme park has been a real blank to the area, bringing in millions of tourists every year. It's either boon, pros, tremor, or dent.
Okay, so let's go back. The new theme park has been a real blank to the area, bringing in millions of tourists every year. The correct answer is boon. But the choices are boon, pros, tremor, dent.
Dent.
All you know is the word dent, bro. You don't know what the word tremor means, like a shake, like a earthquake tremor. Pros, I don't know. Boon is like, it's kind of hard to explain, kind of hard to define it. But a boon to the area would be like a big influx of money in this context, a big influx of something, like a goat rush or something like that.
Dent. Am I stupid? People here really take this test seriously, like they pay big money for private tutors. And when you take English classes in Japan, they prep kids to pass this exam instead of just teaching them English. But let me know if you knew any of these answers, because apparently I don't know English.
Okay, so, wow. Hey, I don't know, man. That's a little scary. That's a little bit scary because I don't know, man. Like, are you like a college graduate? All I have is an associate's degree. All I have is an associate's degree in graphic design. I'm not even really no big brainiac like that. And I know how to read though. That's one thing that I always really, one thing that I always had a skill in was reading. Because you got to know how to read. If you don't know how to read, you're pretty much doomed. And I knew that from an early age. And I read quite a bit. Okay. Boondocks. That's funny. All right. So look. I want you guys to hire professionals. I just saw this video. I want you guys to hire professionals, please. Maybe if you know how to read some diagrams, schematics, plans, something like this, then maybe what you're going to see right now would not happen, perhaps. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. So this guy lost his home because he didn't hire a professional. So yeah, hire a professional because you wouldn't cheap out. All right, well look, there go your house. So whatever the tree costs to cut down, it don't even matter no more because your whole house is gone. And you know what? Before I had my house built, I made sure that I was not by a wooded area, not like right up against it, because in my neighborhood, you got some houses that's right up against the wooded area. I didn't want that because I know that could happen. Because it happened before. When we had a hurricane, pardon me, it was a tornado that hit my neighborhood back in 2020. We had a tree that fell just like that in my neighborhood, but luckily it was not on my house. On my house, it was just some little branches that were, it was like tall branches, like a real thin tree, taller than me. They had fell all it did was just dent the gutters on the roof. It left a little indentation on the gutters. But if you had a big behemoth like that, old tree like that, oh yeah, we would have been pancakes. We would have been pancakes. So yeah, thank God it didn't happen. But again, you want to get something like that done, please hire a professional because your house will be gone and there's nothing you could do. Is it insurance fraud? Is that what's going on? Hey, you know, if you do stuff like that, you're going to go to the penitentiary to make big rocks, little rocks if they catch you. If they catch you, it's all over with. You are going to the big house, to the who's goo, to the clink. Okay, that's where you're going. Now, I'm going to show this. This is a dinner at a Finnish school, meaning from Finland. Okay, and you let me know if this looks appetizing or not. And also, should they serve meals more like this at American schools?
Another delicious dinner at my Finnish school. Today, I start with a glass of milk as usual. Today we have my favorite shredded carrot. I add a little dressing on top to make it even better. Then I get some potatoes. They look perfectly cooked and delicious. For the main dish, we have tilapia Finnish fish balls. These are soft, flavourful and go perfectly with some potatoes. There's also a gravy sauce to go with it. But I'm not sure about the name. If you know, let me know in the comments.
All right, there we go. So again, this is at a Finnish school, Finland, over there at school. I'm not quite sure if he's like grade school, college or whatever, but what do y'all think? You know what? I'm gonna say this. If they could serve that at school, like in K through 12 here in America, that'd be good. That'd be a good meal. Because you got your protein with your fish patties, you got your shredded carrots, potatoes, all whole food. Well, the fish, I don't know. There might be some breading right there. It could be like not necessarily your fried fish, but it don't matter. That's still kind of good enough. And the sauce probably is homemade. That's probably going to be a much more healthy meal than what we eat over here in the States. You know, Michelle Obama had the healthy lunch thing. And all they did was just give out the same penitentiary food, just minus a couple items. It wasn't an overhaul like this. I think we most certainly need an overhaul in this country because a lot of people, they don't know how to eat. They don't eat the right thing. And it probably wouldn't cost that much to do like a whole food meal at a school rather than the penitentiary. Paul Forty says my favorite type of food. But yeah, it'd make more sense to do something like that rather than what they get in school in K through 12. It's probably wild caught fish for sure. Hey, and speaking about wild caught fish, Costco got some wild caught salmon. I was surprised because I don't normally get produce from, well, I don't normally get meat from Costco. I get some produce. I got broccoli from there, bok choy, the avocados, them cherry tomatoes they got at Costco. Oh, beautiful. The tomatoes are so sweet. It's like you just eating cherries. That's how sweet they are. The tomatoes are so sweet naturally. It's like you're eating cherries. For me and my palate, it's sweet like that. But I get vegetables from Costco, but never meat. But I just happened to look and I saw they had some wild caught salmon. Delicious. Oh, beautiful. Delicious. Loved it. Loved it. 100%. I had some wild caught from Publix. It was all right. It was a little bit too athletic. Like my fish was just training like Ivan Drago all day long. I want a little bit of fat on the fish. It was a balance between the farm raised and the wild caught, but it was still wild caught. It was great. I loved it. What's wrong with Costco meat? I just don't really trust it. I don't know. Like their chicken and stuff like this. If you got all this chicken like in one thing, I don't know. I think I might have had some of the chicken before and I didn't like it. I had it before. I was like, it's a little, but the fish was delicious though. Their salmon was great. Hold on. ABL said, Jennifer says, ABL, try flavor bombs, cherry tomatoes. Will do. I'm not really a celery guy, beef and chicken. I'm not really a celery guy. I used to eat celery back in the day with like peanut butter, but peanut butter a little bit too much fat for me. But yeah, I'm not really a celery guy. All right. We got some calls to get to in a minute, but first we got super chats. Let me see. TJ says, what happened to the good old days of eating a fish dinner and smoking a cigar in the movie theaters? Hey, man, times change. I got a picture of me. I'm going to find that picture. I got a picture of me. I'm like probably about 3 years old. I'm wearing a wife beater. My dad got on a wife beater too. And right next to us, he's on the couch laying down. I'm standing right next to him. And right by the couch, it's an end table with an ashtray. My parents back in the day smoked cigarettes right in the house. Right in the house, like it was nothing, because in the 80s, that was regular, smoking in the house. That wasn't really no big deal. Smoking in the house, smoking in the car. You getting hot boxed right in that station wagon. Hey, that brown station wagon, you getting hot boxed with Newport 100s all day long. Or Newports or Marlboros in a station wagon. That was regular. That was before it was frowned upon to smoke in a public place. You go to a restaurant and smoke. You go anywhere and smoke. And before my time, you could smoke in the hospital room. You could smoke on the airplane. But 2025, they frown upon that. So God forbid you be on a plane busting a cigar out. You're going to get deplaned. Unfortunately, it is what it is. All right. But yeah, cigarettes in the house, that was pretty regular. Okay, thank you to Apple for the super chat, who says Epstein files disappointing, but not a reason to abandon President Trump. His DHS, FBI have arrested hundreds of bad guys and found many missing kids. Exactly. Rebel Without a Reason says JP Morgan didn't settle a $2.9 billion lawsuit with the Epstein victims or a hoax. They all ran on the promise of exposing everyone involved. Thumbs down emoji. Thank you to Ken Frazier for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says she's an actress, ABL. She's acting badly. Also, SH countries, you know, the bad countries, lack a maintenance culture. You watch some of these videos online. Shout out to Unknown Opinionoid, who says, imagine wanting a job and Democrats give you crack. Exactly. Thank you to Trump Rocks, who says, been a Trump supporter ever since he came down the escalator, but the weakling statement is too much. I've lost family members, friends, and acquaintances over my support for him. No more. Thank you to Unknown Opinionoid, who says, race publicans want people to work, or Republicans, maybe you didn't mean to say race publicans, want people to work for themselves. Oh, okay, you did. Okay, I'm gonna read it right. I thought it was a typo. I'm just okay, you benefit of the doubt. So he says, or she, I'm not assuming your gender, race publicans want people to work themselves to death for nothing, and Democrats, or he said Democrats, are pushing in all these foreigners and a narco-LGBT prison industrial state. Okay, first of all, let's use complete words. The abbreviations and shorthand was wearing me to the shorthand was killing me. But anyway, we don't want you to work yourself to death for nothing. That's what the Democrats do. That's why they bring in the migrants, because they do that. See, the Democrats will say, okay, we're going to make minimum wage $1,000 an hour. Then they'll say, let's keep the illegal aliens coming in to work for $725. That's what they do. Republicans say, let's let Americans have skills and enter the job market, and whatever you can negotiate with your employer is what you get paid. Or start your own business and you set the price for whatever it is in the market. You want to be a truck driver, owner op? Okay, set your price. The problem with trying to set your price, being an owner op, being self-employed is when you got to compete against illegal aliens who work for no money because they undercut you to get what you should be getting. And what they're going to do is send that back to their home country to build themselves up. They're going to siphon our wealth to build themselves up. So Republicans don't want you to work to death for nothing. We want Americans to work in America for other Americans. We want to serve each other and keep this nation strong. We don't want our wealth to be siphoned away by foreign nationals like Democrats do. Does it make any sense? I would never say, look, I would never say be poor. Like if you don't have to be, I say, as we all say, get better skills to get more money. But when you have the illegal aliens in the way, it makes it more difficult to compete. Simple. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to a few calls here. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the ticker, also in the description box. You can check it out right there. Again, 706-406-3287. America First says Americans want to work and will do the jobs. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the way it is. We want to work as Americans. 734, you're on line. I'm speaking to.
Hi, it's Taisha from Michigan. How you doing tonight?
Oh, well, about yourself?
I'm good. I just had a couple comments tonight. The first one was regarding Trump up there with the football players. I just feel like people just find anything to complain about because he is 80 years old. Like, why would he be jumping up and down with a bunch of 20 to 40-year-olds who are in shape? Like, people just find anything to complain about.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. It's like, why not? I'm 80 years old. Hey, I might not be here next year, so why not? Let's just do it.
You know, and then my second comment was regarding the Epstein files. I feel like, you know, the everyday voter just really didn't care. Like, they didn't vote for Trump because of the Epstein files. If you go to any, like, video where people was on live asking people, like, why did you vote for Trump? Nobody really mentioned the Epstein files. I feel like it's more so there is a little bit of hypocrisy when you see Donald Trump Jr., you know, on stage like, oh, the Democrats don't want to release the Epstein files. So I feel like there is some hypocrisy, but, you know, abandoning Trump over the Epstein files, I definitely feel like it's a no-go. I feel like it's more so an issue for bigger podcasters because just people in their everyday life is not having conversations regarding the Epstein files. And I feel like if you have common sense, you know they was never going to release those files because of all of those big politicians from all over the world was on that list. I mean, even was it Prince Harry paid off the girl like $11 million? So, you know, once you get to making payments, we already know. So I just feel like, you know, just the everyday voter just did not vote for Trump because of the Epstein files.
I agree with you 100%. Like I was saying throughout the entire time, I think the biggest issue was the migrants because that touched everybody all over the country. It was a big issue with the jobs, the housing, the crime, everything. That was the biggest issue, in my humble opinion. The Epstein files is cool for the podcast, but regular, everyday Americans, not so much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So that was just my comments for tonight, and have a great night.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to her. But yeah, I mean, that's just the truth. Most Americans had other things that were on their priority and not necessarily the Epstein files, but some Americans did have that, but how many of them are there? 509, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi, ABL. This is Shelley from Washington State.
All righty, what's going on?
I just wanted to let you know I'm praying that they call you in the press room someday soon. But I wanted to make a comment on the Epstein thing. Now, this has been going on for a long time. I don't think Trump has handled it that well, but I encourage people not to give up on him because I live in a blue state, and once they get control of your state, you don't know how much damage those Democrats do. They can take your children away if you don't trans them. All the bad stuff that they're doing is so ridiculous. But I think we're in a spiritual warfare here, and just don't give up hope. I can see that people don't agree with that, but that's not the big thing. It could be a distraction from the Democrats, because what do? They like hoax, you know? They could have destroyed. Biden had dump trucks out there shredding stuff. Who knows what they did? He wasn't even a president, you know? I mean, people are focusing on this list and not focusing on the stuff that's important. We need to get this stuff changed, because we're losing our rights. We're paying more taxes than ever. We're less safe. People are battling each other over it. But to dump somebody, Trump has been through heck and back, in my opinion, more than anyone else. He doesn't take a salary. He works, you know, every single day for the American people. He might make mistakes here and there, but, you know, I make mistakes too. So sit back. But I think that, you know, a lot of these people that are on the internet are making a big deal out of this. Oh, now I'm no Trump, blah, 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 and getting everybody all worked up. That's the Democrats' plan. They don't have anything else but judges to go and stop his executive orders. They have nothing else. And I'm telling you, people, if you vote for Democrats, your state will go downhill. And I've been here 60 years in this state, and it's went into the dump. And what they're doing with people's rights with guns and everything is terrible. And it's not going to be reversed overnight. So I just encourage people to stick it in there. I'm sure Trump doesn't like predators, and people are saying, oh, Trump's a predator and he, you know, whatever. And it's ridiculous, like seriously ridiculous. These are all demons, in my opinion, but people need to watch what's going on, because they're covering for Biden. All his people are taking the Fifth Amendment. Biden was never in charge the last 4 years, and look at how much damage he caused. And I am beyond mad about that. That's the biggest thing that should be covered day and night, 24/7, because these people, what they did to this country is shameful. But I love you. I watch you every night, support you. Hope you get on in the press room, because I want to see your questions for that. So anyways, people need to hang on. Use some discernment, because you got to pay attention to everything that's going on. And Trump's done 100 good things, and he made a mistake with this, the way he presented it. But maybe he doesn't understand what, you know, exactly it meant to everybody, you know. But it's not like these people are going to be held accountable. They can't even hold the Democrats accountable for nothing. Nobody's been arrested. It's ridiculous. And if you run a business, you have people that work for you, you shouldn't have to go behind them and clean up their messes.
Right on, absolutely. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you,
ABL.
All right, fantastic call. Shout out to her. Round of applause. 740, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's Jeff, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. Listen, with that Japanese test, yes, the answer to number one is definitely twinge. I'm an American. I speak American, right? But now question number three, that's a sneaky one. My grandpa fought the Japanese in World War II, and so it could either be a boon, which is a plus of the economy, or a dent, which is a negative. That's a real sneaky question.
Hey, no, it could be, for sure.
That's it. I think, you know. But anyways, you had a bunch of whiners you were showing some videos. Let's see here. What about that DACA fella complaining about his... What all was he saying, ABL?
Oh, he said he had a few cases pending.
Yeah, cases pending, DACA and all that. They were talking to him way too long. Look, they should have just set him in the car and said, tell it to the Gators and shut that door.
Exactly.
And then you had old Gavin Newsom on there crying around. When I was in the 7th grade, they shut my head in the toilet and called me Newsom. get real, man. Hey, listen, you need to go upstairs, Susan, and write that in your diary. Listen, I call Jasmine Crockett Lady Django. She calls the governor of Texas Hot Wheels, and they call me a misogynistic, racist hillbilly. Grow up, everybody.
Exactly. You'll be totally fine. It won't be the end of the world.
That's it. Let's see here. I got one more little joke here for you, and then I got to talk to you about something real serious now. What do you think about Jasmine Crockett talking about Sesame Street going to foreign countries so they're not radicalized?
Yeah, I think it might have the opposite effect, because if we're showing them LGBTQ stuff, all these crazy things that we don't like, if they're showing them that overseas, that might have the opposite effect of which he thinks that it will.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying it probably had the opposite effect.
Yeah, I think it's going to have the opposite effect, too. Did you see what Elmo was tweeting out this week?
I did see that, yeah.
All right, so anyways, we need to get serious, man. I let you off the hook last week. You talked to Cousin Nikki about the nurses she's working with.
Look now, I don't need no help. I don't need any help in that department.
Well, you know, I think your cousin Nikki would help you out, though. You're a good-looking guy. Look, we just don't want you walking around in public, you know, with a couple kids and your 1776 hat looking like a log cabin Republican.
I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Man, you know, I'm just teasing you, giving you a little bit of a ribbon, but I'll get off there after a little bit of laugh, and you have a good evening, ABL. Thanks for taking the call, and listen, I want to say this again, and I've said it before. I really appreciate you taking everybody's calls, no matter what their opinion is, and letting them, and as long as they talk respectfully, you talk respectfully, man. You're doing a good thing by letting people say what they think, and I'll get off there, and you have a good day, buddy.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye, bud.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And shout out to you guys for rocking and rolling. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Let's go. 559, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Darlene from California.
All righty. What's going on?
Well, I have a question on that, whatever, Epstein file. I want to know, I heard that Joe Biden destroyed all those files. Is that true?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Have you heard that?
I mean, I've heard that, but I can't determine whether that's true or false. So I don't really know the answer to that question. You don't know the answer to that question. I mean, nobody knows the answer about any of these questions. I don't know.
I mean, because... Okay. Well, I just thought you knew everything, so I just thought I'd ask. I wish I destroyed it.
Yeah, I wish I did know everything.
I'm going to tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
Trump is, he's a very smart man, and he's not playing stupid. He's not dumb. He knows what's going on. I love Trump dearly. I voted for him, and I could care less about this Epstein file. Everybody goes crazy. Every time you go on YouTube, it's Epstein or now even these people that were good that love Trump, they're kind of turned against him and going, oh, he said this. You know, who cares? He's doing a good job. Leave the man be. I mean, I just don't understand why people are freaking out over that. When we have a bunch of perverts and stuff here in California that you can go into the bathrooms and the men walk in and they go to the bathroom with you. I mean, you know, what are we doing? Are we changing? Then we're changing all these kids into men when they're in school and teaching them sex things. What are we talking about? It sounds like a hypocrites. That's what I say.
I understand.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about here? That Gavin Newsom, that crazy man that here in California, he's wrecked our whole country. You know, everything here. I mean, I can't stand that man. You talk about, you know, it's a good name for him. He has no sense at all. He's tried to do everything, get rid of our lawnmowers and our gasoline and put all batteries and everything. So I just think it's ridiculous. Every time I turn it on, I have to shut it off sometimes because I just can't take much more of it. But Trump's doing a good job, and I'm glad that he went over there and bombed Iran. I am, because they deserved it. They really did. I mean, they would have bombed us. I mean, what are we going to do? You damned if you do, and you damned if we don't. And that's the way I look at it. And Trump doesn't want to kill people. He did it. He ended it just like that. Now, Biden, we have that over there, that war that's been going on 100 years, and that Russia stuff. He has started everything, you know, and Trump's trying to clean up his mess. And, I'm really pissed off about all this. You know, Trump's just cleaning up messes, and these people just downgrade him. And our illegal immigrants also. He's doing a good job. So I wish everybody would calm down on these Epstein files, because I think Joe Biden got rid of a lot of them. And I think it's all gossip. And there's not going to be any smoking gun out of this, you guys. Just letting you know. That's my take. Okay, I'll let you go. You have a nice night, okay?
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. 208, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you tonight, my friend? This is Tom.
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Doing well. Just got back from your great state, back to my great state. And, so been a busy few weeks. Enjoyed your show tonight. It was absolutely excellent. Just kind of wanted to weigh in on that whole Epstein thing. That last statement, or the statement that Trump put out about us being weaklings, I'm not thin-skinned, ABL, by any means, but I got to tell you, that kind of hit a chord with me. We don't have any facts. We don't have any proof of anything that we've been promised, and yet now we're the bad people for demanding it? What do you think about that? I don't think you're a weakling.
Nah, I think he is frustrated with the consistent news coverage of it. Maybe he thought it was over with. Maybe he didn't think it was a big deal like that. I don't really know. I'm not necessarily offended at what he said, because for me, the issue is not really a big issue. I understand to some it's a big issue, but for me, it's not big. So I don't take offense to it, but I can understand how some could be offended by what he said.
Well, the weakling part is what struck me, because I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I've actually lost long-term friendships because of my support for MAGA and Trump. And believe me, I'm no weakling. And I don't know, maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but it struck me that I actually, put myself up there to the point of losing stuff like that, and then to be down talked to like that, which I really think that we deserve some closure of some type, but at the same time, I do agree, get over it, but don't promise things you can't deliver. But Bondi should have never came out and said, it's on my desk. So I just wanted to weigh in on that. I don't know how many people feel like I do or agree, but I know one thing, that if Trump don't do something to backtrack that statement about his base, him not needing his supporters, the midterms are shot, because MAGA won't show up. They won't. So anyway, my friend, thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to share my perspective with you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good one, ABL.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. What do y'all think? Do y'all agree, disagree? Raise a good point.
Problem.
214 on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's going on, ABL? It's Tariq, man.
All right, what's going on, Tariq?
Ain't not much, man. What that last caller said was the crux of it, man. It's just, the problem with the Epstein, I just think what Donald Trump should have said is, I'm getting the same information you're getting. I'm trusting my intelligence agencies. If they say anything else, I'm gonna let you know. But anything on Epstein, I'm gonna defer to my intelligence agencies. That's what he should have said, or they just should have just said we're still looking into it, or we're still investigating. But where he went wrong was hopping on social media saying this is some Democrat conspiracy launched by Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Russia.
And the problem with that is like now you're playing with people's intelligence. Now you're thinking people are stupid. Because the problem with that is the Democrats are not even calling for the release of the Epstein files. The Democrats don't even care about the Epstein files. Really, it's really the right wing, really, it's the conservative right is the only one who's concerned about the Epstein files because we want to see if Epstein got some blackmail on certain government officials on behalf of a foreign government, and Tucker Carlson believes it's Israel, and I think other people believe it's Israel also. But they want to know if there's blackmail, and you don't go and attack your supporters. It's almost as if he's like saying, shut up and move on from this. And to be honest, that's extremely disrespectful. And I feel like he's catering to the Johnny-come-lately neocon Republicans who never liked them. Like, Mark Levin, when Trump first ran, did not like Trump. Ben Shapiro did not like Trump. A lot of these, the people he has around him, like the Meghan McCains, now all of a sudden they're all warming up to Trump. They all like him, mostly because of his foreign policy, especially after him stupidly bombing Iran. And it's just like, the Lindsey Grahams, he's bigging up Lindsey Graham and propping up Lindsey Graham, but then wants to primary Thomas Massey. And it's like, wait a minute, man, you're going after your day ones who is with you. And you're siding with these people who hate you unless you sideline the American First agenda for foreign countries. And I just got to respond to the woman who called before the guy, because the one thing I can't stand is pro-war women. Pro-war women have no skin in the game, yet they want to sit there and vote for war hawk policies to send young men in the war to die for them while they sit back and look pretty. Women who don't have no skin in the game should shut up talking about war, because you ain't going to fight nothing. You know what I'm saying? We are the ones that's going to deal with it. The young men are going to deal with it. Men are still being drafted. Women talk all this feminist stuff, but they don't have to worry about being drafted. But yet they want to be rah, rah, rah. We need to go to war with Iran. We need to go to war with Russia, rah, rah, rah. Why don't you go to war? Or if not, shut up talking about war, because, like I said, you got no skin in the game. And then she said some nonsense about, Trump cleaning up what's going on in Ukraine. And I agree, but we almost had some mess going on in Iran. The thing is, even though this is the problem I got with some conservatives on this issue, thank God no war got worse in Iran. But what if Iran say, you know what, we're not going to even tell America that we're going to go bomb one of their compounds. And I forget what Arab country that Iran retaliated but gave us a heads up. What if they never gave us a heads up? And we would have been involved in a war. We don't know none of the variables. That's why people are like, just stay out of it altogether. You don't allow a foreign country. I don't care if they're our allies. You don't allow a foreign country to start a war and then sit back and say United States finish it. And we don't even know the unintended consequences of that. That sounds stupid. And thank God nothing happened, because then that would have been Trump's war. If there was any retaliation, any American troop died, that would have been Trump's war that we would have been involved in. And God knows if that would have been some 10, 15, 20-year war. And when it comes to Ukraine, Trump is still funding the Ukrainian army, and that's, it's just like, come on, man. Like the last caller said, the 2020 midterms may be cooked, and it's like, we got to have some wins. And, I'm not trying to just brag on Trump, because I do love his immigration policy. I mean, we can't take what he's doing about illegal immigrants away. I don't think I've ever seen a president utilize ICE, utilize the court systems in such a way to get these illegal immigrants out. Like, these are the wins I like to see. I do like that he's defunding NPR and PBS, because we don't need to be funding no networks that's coming from the government, but then they're slightly bent towards the left and hating on the right. So I do like these wins, but I do think, man, I'm just in closing, I think he needs to just stop talking about Epstein. Just just take the L. Keep doing good in this illegal immigration stuff. Don't attack your own supporters. Don't call them stupid, because we are the ones who rode for you. These Ben Shapiros, Mike Pence, all these fake never Trumpers, they only love you because you are attacking people. But the moment you put America first over foreign countries, over all these foreign interests, then they're going to turn on you. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
All right, there we go. So great calls tonight. You guys are on fire. Shout out to y'all. I know, hey, y'all know I couldn't do it without you. So shout out to all the callers. You guys are really, really on point as always. I appreciate y'all for calling in. You guys are the best. And the number to call, of course, it was just right there. 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. All right. But shout out to you guys again for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. Okay. I am paying attention. Jay Worm says I'm reading. He's not even paying attention. I'm paying attention. I'm keyed in, but I can do more things. I could do more than one thing at once for sure, because I'm reading you guys' comments. I'm reading other stuff. I'm multitasking all the time. 314, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. Oh.
You there?
Yeah, I am here. Oh, wow. Let me put you on mute. I just wanted to comment on a few things, and then I guess it's a little theory, and hopefully it won't step on toes. But I'm kind of going to be all over the place to bring it together.
Okay.
Growing up, and I'm 45 years old, I was told when it comes to gay people, watch them, okay, because they're sneaky, blackmail you. You just have to be conscious. You know what I'm saying? Even befriending them, if you're a male to a female, male to I've just heard that all my life. Be careful, them gay folks, they'll turn on you, they'll blackmail you, and then as an African American, you can kind of see why sometimes men or males don't like to kind of accept them or be around, because you just never know, because you could be friendly and it could turn into something else, or they can create a lie. Okay, so I've always heard that. And then even with the women who befriend them, or have friends with them, or friends with, let's say, a female with a male, they messy and you got to watch them, or they'll try to come on to your guy or whatever, what I'm saying. But that's just what I've heard all my life. So I say that to say, when we deal with this LGBT stuff in this society today, the overarching thing is that I feel that the Democrats who push this agenda and all of these things potentially may be compromised. Okay? Now think about it. When we talk about Los Angeles and all that's going on out there, there's no way in the world you can just have government officials like co-sign all of this and that. Okay? So that's just one aspect of a thing. Now, sanctuary cities. Why are you all so headstrong on accepting illegal migrants into, let's say, Chicago, for instance, and the school district is, just floundering, and you just have all of this thing. So it's just a bunch of different components going on all at the same time. Not to mention, you have judges escorting illegals out the back door. And it's like, wow, we have our, officials, ICE agents and things, they're being harassed and da-da-da-da. So it's just a bunch of moving parts that's going on to where it's like, I just can't believe this, And I think the rest of America are waking up too and like opening their eyes, especially with this ICE stuff. It's like the nerve, the unmitigated gall that you guys are doing that on our soil, and and you think that it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So bringing all this together, what I'm saying is, I think now I'm led to believe ultimately, from Waltz to Newsom to all of these sanctuary cities and all of the political people, that they are compromised. Now, what is the issue with me saying that? it makes sense. If you dwell and that's a sanctuary city in that city and state, the officials in that city and state have a daughter, they have a mom, they have you know what I'm saying? So now, if there is a cartel or, all these lawless, people running rampant in your city, you're scared and in fear that something could happen to your family member or your loved one. Not to mention, where was that in one of those cities, and it was two judges, it was a married couple, and then somebody lived in the house. Remember that?
I don't remember that, yeah.
Yeah, remember that? I was like, wow. Like, prime example, like, were they in the house because, like, they got a one-up on, like, your people? Like, you see what I'm saying? So I think, just like Trump says, and this being a security measure situation we're going through, like, this is bigger than what we think. And 20, however you want to estimate the amount of people that came into the country, that's a lot of people. I was listening to Judge Brown and someone else, and they were discussing how, it's not just Hispanics, Latinos, it could be from around the world. They'd have the opportunity to set up shop, hide things, like infiltrate, like learn the systems, get a job, and I would think have access to your socials, have access to your phone numbers and addresses and things. This is really a deep thing, because I got a job in Texas, and I kid you not, and under DEI, I would imagine so, the whole HR department was Hispanic, okay? I heard now that they're gone, but that just goes to show. And when I saw that, because I moved from another state here, I saw that and I was like, wow. So yeah, they were the minority, so they were hired. So you can just imagine they could probably be in the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
They could be, just everywhere, because not all migrants are idiots and uneducated or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They could hold jobs and have degrees and interview and speak well, and then what? Bilingual. So that gets them ahead of the line.
That's right.
And so everything I think that we're experiencing now is definitely a security measure. I'm glad that it's in the big, beautiful bill about giving ICE agents the money because they need it.
Right.
And then it's just so many moving factors going on at once. I just can't wrap my head around any of our politicians accepting this and standing on it like it's just the right thing to do. In
right.
Chicago,
I'm gonna cut you off, but I got a little bit of time left. So thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, cool beans. Thanks.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller, and shout out to you guys as well. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. At a number to call, 706-406-3287. One thing she said about the Hispanics coming in, when they come in, or whoever they are, whether they be Hispanic, whatever, foreign nationals, when they come in to a job, they just want to bring themselves on. So they just straight up nepotism, racism, they don't care. They're only focused on themselves and improving the lot and lives of their own people, not you. They don't care. And they're not Americans, so they couldn't care less about none of that. Ain't no patriotism. It's all about just trying to get money. Again, trying to siphon money out of the country that we, the people, should be getting for ourselves because we built the money. We are here legally. We should be the ones being able to reap the benefits rather than foreign nationals over here stealing. Okay. AKM says you're out of focus and the flags in the background are in focus. That's always the thing I try to balance because I do manual. I have a manual focus on my lens. So I can show you here. It's difficult to keep it in balance because I want the background to be sharp, but also the foreground. And this is kind of far away. This is actually pretty far. Like, that's really kind of like, I can throw a quarter at it. You can see how far away it is. It's not very close. So I try to it's difficult to keep everything focused the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, shout out to you though. I appreciate it for pointing that part out. Yeah, it's all good. But I'll be here for a little while longer. Then I'm going to wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Shout out to you guys for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best. Said I'm good. Baka MIT, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, when the foreign nationals come in to a job, they're only looking out for themselves. You, as an American, it's like whatever. If I got to step on you to get to where I got to be, to get my people, to get my people to where they got to be, then so be it. I'll do it, and it's fine. It's not even no big deal. All right. That's just what it is. It looks great to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I think that will be a wrap for me tonight. If you couldn't get on tonight, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. I'll be back live on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, y'all know I got the stream on Instagram on Tuesdays. Shout out to you guys who were there last night. I enjoyed that stream. It went on for longer than I thought it was going to be, but it was fun. I was just in the moment having a good time talking to y'all. The Instagram stream is a lot smaller, so it's easier to communicate with you guys. Sometimes I may bring people on, sometimes I don't. But overall, the Instagram stream is good. So I'm going to always do the Wednesday and Saturday right here on YouTube. But if you want an extra stream, a bonus stream for the free 99, check me out on Instagram on Tuesday nights. That's going to be 9 p.m. 9 p.m. to right around 10 p.m. Eastern on Instagram. Also, what you're listening to right now is an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right, I got some more super chats here. I'm gonna read those right quick and wrap it on up. Put the bow on top. But again, shout out to y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. You guys are the best. Thank you to all the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well, especially since we got hit with them trolls the other day. Okay, these 18-year-old white kids. It's like, what are y'all doing? Like, I need to be going to school rather than worry about this old dude on the internet. It's like, what are y'all doing? But anyway, shout out to them. That lets me know that I'm getting some of the younger generation to watch, which is a good feeling. So shout out to them. Anyway, super chats on deck. I'm going to read these right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you to Unknown Opinionoid who says, already read that one. But what he said, I'm going to read it again. Unknown Opinionoid says, race publicans want people to work themselves to death for nothing, and Democrats are pushing in all these foreigners and a narco-LGBT prison industrial state. Yeah, it was so much shorthand in that I didn't know what I was reading at first. But like I said when I read it the first time, Republicans just want you to be skilled and to use your skills in the country to bring something to society, to contribute to society in a positive way. Democrats will say, I'll give you the sun, moon, and stars, but I'm going to bring in the illegal aliens and give them nothing. That's what they do. Republicans want you to be skilled at whatever it is that you do and make a living that way off of your skills. Thank you to William, who says Trump ran on stopping human trafficking. He is killing our rights. Look at executive orders. Trump betrayed us when, why run for cover for it? He said, Trump betrayed us. Why run cover for him? He is not God, y'all. Okay. And that was in all caps as well. So shout out to you. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you to Taylor, who says, ABL, I filed my LLC this week, bought my first business asset, and started my website. So sick of the corporate grind and making others rich. Also, I have an EE degree and don't know half those words. Hey, shout out to you, Taylor, man. Congratulations on getting that together. Hold on. Can I do a round of applause for you right quick? Yeah. Shout out to you, man. That's what I'm talking about. Getting your self-employment thing going on. It's a great way to be, man. It's very rewarding, but it can be very scary because it's not as secure. If you get a job, it's secure as long as you have it. But nowadays, 2025, a lot of these jobs aren't secure. AI is coming in, taking jobs that people thought were once secure. So, like I said earlier with my man that had the shorthand comment that I was struggling to read, always have skills and always get better at whatever that you do. And if what you're doing, it gets phased out, then you need to develop new skills. Maybe a skill that's based on the skill that you have right now. Okay, if your particular job in the tech world has become automated, what can be done in your world that you would be good at, that you already have some experience and education with, that cannot be automated? Maybe you get on the other side of the automation. If you're working in a tech role and you're making a lot of money and you're good at what you do and you're a very smart person, but that got automated, okay, take your skill and apply it to the other side, to the programming, to like, okay, you got people that work for Grok and OpenAI and stuff like that, go to that side. Figure something else out. That's what I will always say. Like I always tell y'all, or I've said it before, when I was a graphic designer and Instagram came along, that killed it. I had so many boxes. I'm doing like 2 gang runs a week at the press. The whole run is pretty much me. I go to Eric and Lily and pick up my whole truck. I got like 9 orders twice a week. I'm rolling. Instagram come in, kill it. Because now, why do I need flyers? Why do I need any paper media when I could just post something my cousin made right on Instagram? So rather than just saying, oh, they taking my jobs, is technology, I got to adjust. I got to do something else. I can't just stay stagnant and complaining about a thing that was available to me many years ago. I got to keep going forward. And I would say the same thing for all of y'all out there as well. So shout out to you, Taylor, for taking that first step into being self-employed. It's very rewarding. It can be very scary at times, but ultimately it's ultimate freedom. And I wouldn't change it for nothing. Thank you, F Ranger Xbox, who says, listen to your Google messages. I don't do none of that. Like the number is a number for the show and that's it. Thank you to Beans, who says, oh, Beans sent 5 ABL memberships. Thank you for that, boss. I definitely appreciate you. Forte says, I used to shoot wedding photo retouches, VCR tape, company ads. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to you, man. All righty. But that will be, hold on. Beans, I'll read this one. Beans says, I'm laying LVT or LVP, luxury vinyl plank flooring in my bathrooms, 20 YouTube videos later. You know what? I thought about trying to do that, but I'm like, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. I might do that. I might do that in my closet. I might put in some hardwood in my closet, in my master bedroom closet. What happened to ABL Gaming? ABL Gaming is now Uncle ABL, and I put a review for Superman on that channel recently. So subscribe to Uncle ABL if you're not. I don't have no time to do the gaming part. I got time to talk about politics and hot topics and things that I see, but the gaming just takes too much time to do a stream and stuff like that. If I'm gonna do a stream, I rather would do a stream about like an Uncle ABO stream. I'm talking about life stuff, how to really push forward, how to eat properly, take care of yourself, be fit over 40. Okay, I got the great beard and whatnot, but I'm in shape, I'm fit, and I want you guys to be on that same level. Be fit, be improving your skills. Just be constantly improving whoever you are as a person to sustain yourself in this country, because we got the illegal aliens. We got other countries trying to compete with us. The Chinese, they teaching their kids from a young age how to do everything. They getting them into how to build stuff, the math. They doing all of that. What are our kids doing? Baby shark, doot. That ain't gonna cut it. And that's pretty much that on that. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.